Chapter 1. Dochi Continent. Magic Beast Mountain Range. Outskirts. There was a loud noise in the sky. A meteor suddenly appeared and smashed down. In the deep pit, a young man stood up, unharmed. I'm not dead. What's with that sound? Did I really transmigrate? Chubei looked around and muttered to himself, dumbfounded. Just a moment ago, he was sitting in the passenger seat of his friend's truck. However, the smog was too heavy, and visibility was only 20 meters. No matter how good his friend's driving skills were, he still couldn't avoid a small car that was going at 100 kilometers per hour. It hit. The car flipped. However, just as Chubei's mind was blank and ready to feel the kiss of death, a dazzling golden light enveloped him. When he came back to his senses, he was already deep in the forest. Celestial Mall System activated. Progress 1%. Celestial Mall System activated. Progress 1%. Celestial Mall System activated. Progress 1%. At this moment, the mechanical sound that he heard when the car flipped rang in Chubei's mind again. 6 hours later. F***CK. Why is this system still at 1%? Chubei leaned against a towering ancient tree and listened to the howling of wolves around him. He couldn't help but shrink his neck. At the same time, he cursed the system in his mind. This was the system's so-called activation. It took too long. 100 years later. Kama Empire, Wu-Tan City. On E Street, the most prosperous street in the city. There were many markets in it, and people came and went. It was very lively. At this moment, a young man in a gray robe was walking on the street with a bag of vegetables. Quick look. That guy is out to buy vegetables again. Who the hell is this guy? Sure. I heard from my grandfather that he's a vagrant. But this guy is very strange. When my grandfather was my age, he was like this. I heard that he's already 80 years old and hasn't married yet. Do you think he ate some kind of heaven and earth treasure by mistake? Otherwise, why is he still so young? Maybe he was born a freak. On one side of the street, there were people gathered in groups of 3 to 5, pointing at the young man. The gray-robed youth who was carrying a bag of vegetables was Chubei, who had transmigrated here. Chubei seemed to have been accustomed to the gossip on the streets, and he just shook his head and paid no attention to it at all. On the day he transmigrated, he was at the periphery of a mountain range. Fortunately, he had seen Bear Grylls' survival in the wilderness. He had barely survived and walked out of the mountain range. After coming to Wu-Tan City, he spent several years learning the language of this continent under countless strange gazes. Finally, Chubei knew where he had transmigrated to. The world of battle through the heavens. The Dochi continent was a world where everyone practiced Dochi. There were high-level heaven-class fighting skills, emperor-grade pills, mystical flames that surpassed the Tushi ancient emperor, embodiment transformation technique, 6 paths of reincarnation technique, 10-billion-year-old martial soul, secret techniques that could bring people back to life, King's Glory's armor emperor divine armor, enhanced version of devil fruit, bloodline limit ninjutsu Susanoo with both offense and defense, infinity gloves with 6 infinity stones. In short, the treasures that this celestial mall system had were only things that one could imagine. There was nothing that it didn't have. Of course, since it was a commodity, it had to be traded. If one wanted to obtain these treasures, they needed willpower to exchange them. What was willpower? Simply put, it could be the world's currency, pills, cultivation techniques, and so on. Anything with value could produce willpower. And as the host, if he wanted to obtain willpower, he could only do it through the method of drawing a commission. To put it simply, if a buyer used money or treasures to buy goods, after the system obtained the willpower, it would return half of the willpower as a reward. Unlike Chubei's direct exchange, if a buyer wanted to obtain goods from the Celestial Mall, they could only use the Lucky Wheel. The Lucky Wheel's level was different, and the value of the goods it could get was naturally different. To put it simply, what kind of financial resources played with what kind of wheel? If only the treasures I exchanged could be sold directly to the buyer. After having a preliminary understanding of the system, Chubei secretly cursed in his heart. From the looks of it, the goods he exchanged could only be used by himself, and the buyer could only randomly obtain the goods through the Lucky Wheel. What comforted Chu Bei was that he could choose a lucky roulette wheel for the buyer. For example, a roulette wheel related to alchemy, a roulette wheel that could increase one's battle energy, or a roulette wheel related to battle techniques. If not, this willpower would really be too difficult to earn. Shouldn't there be a newcomer's gift pack after activating the system? System activation successful. Reward issued, 5,000 willpower. Just as Chu Bei finished muttering, the system's voice sounded in his mind. Hearing that, Chu Bei was overjoyed and immediately checked the system's screen. As expected, at the bottom corner of the screen, the value behind the willpower had changed from 0 to 5,000. After thinking about it, Chu Bei did not use the 5,000 willpower to exchange for battle energy cultivation, but instead exchanged for two life-saving means: the celestial space and the invisible flying wings. The former's function was similar to a storage ring, but it surpassed the latter. Although the space was less than 100 cubic meters, it could accommodate people and was worth 3,000 willpower. The latter was a pair of invisible wings that could be used at any time. Although its speed could not be compared to teleportation, it was enough for daily use and was worth 2,000 willpower. Chapter 2. On the other side, Wutan City, one of the three great clans, the Shao family. The large plaza was filled with young men and women because today was the day the Shao family's younger generation would test their strength. The gazes of the young men and women all landed on the Devil Stone tablet in the center of the plaza. Shao Yin, Doji Qi, 3rd stage. Rank, low. Beside the tablet, a middle-aged man glanced at the information displayed on the tablet and then looked at the youth with his hand on the tablet. He shook his head and announced the result. As soon as the middle-aged man finished speaking, there was a burst of laughter in the square, mixed with mockery. Still 3rd stage. Haha, it's just as I thought. His year of hard work was in vain. For him, this is already not bad. After all, he hasn't regressed. Right now, he's really a disgrace to our family. Everyone in Wutan City knows that our family's young master is trash. AI, this Xiaoyin is really pitiful. A former genius has fallen to such a state. In front of the Devil Stone tablet, the youth in green heard the mocking words of the people around him. His breathing became hurried and his hands couldn't help but clench. Is this my fate? The youth in green let out a self-deprecating laugh and then left the stage under the disdainful gazes of the crowd. Next, Shao Sooner. Following the middle-aged man's loud voice, the plaza suddenly quieted down. Everyone's gazes gathered on a young girl in a purple dress. Shao Yingij. The purple-dressed girl looked at the azure-clothed youth who was walking over and called out. She stepped onto the high platform and stretched out her small hand, placing it on the Devil Stone tablet. Shua. The Devil Stone tablet emitted a dazzling light. Shao Sooner. Doji Qi, 9th stage. Rank, high. The middle-aged man looked at the young girl in purple with praise. Miss Sooner is actually at 9th stage. How terrifying. It seems that the title of number 1 in our clan's younger generation is hers. But this kind of genius girl is always following behind that trash Xiaoyin. It's really hard to accept. After the middle-aged man reported the results of the test, the square became noisy again. Everyone looked at Shao Sooner with eyes full of adoration. However, Shao Sooner did not care about the praises of the people around her. After testing her cultivation, she immediately jumped off the high platform and returned to the side of the youth in green who had been called a good-for-nothing. Sunair, I'm afraid that if I give you another month, you'll be able to advance into a doja. The green-clothed youth stroked the purple-dressed girl's black hair. Big brother Xiaoyin, Sun Air believes that one day, you will make everyone look up to you again. Shao Sooner held Xiaoyan's arm. Let's hope so. Xiaoyin shook his head. His expression was desolate, and his words were self-deprecating. Another 6 hours had passed since Chu Bei activated the system. In these 6 hours, he used the wings of flight to fly around the sky, fully satisfying his craving. It was a kind of carefree feeling of having been suppressed for 100 years, just like when someone moved out. When Chu Bei flew back to Wutan City and was not far from his residence, he heard a clamor. Looking down, he saw a bustling crowd of people gathered together as if they were watching a show. Isn't that the Shao family's young master? Xiao Yin? What young master? He's just a good-for-nothing. Before the Xiao family's test, he was only at 3-1 Qi. If it wasn't for his good father, he would have been kicked out of the Xiao family already. The youth in black is called Xiao Ning, the grandson of the Xiao family's grandelder. He's only 17 years old and has already reached 8-1 Qi. From what I know, this Xiao Ning has always disliked Xiao Yan. Now it seems that Xiao Yan's situation is not good. If the genius girl, Xiao Sooner, was here, maybe Xiao Yin could have avoided this disaster. What a pity, what a pity. Listening to the conversations of the people below, Chu Bei's expression changed, and then a playful expression appeared on his face. I didn't think that the one destined for the world would come knocking on my door on the first day of the system activation. Interesting. Chu Bei immediately landed and squeezed into the innermost circle of the crowd, seeing Xiao Yin and Xiao Ning's group up close. Xiao Yin, the one destined for the world. At 4 years old, he started training Qi. At 9-1 Qi, at 11 he broke through to Doja. He could be said to be a genius with limitless potential. What was regrettable was that in the same year, this genius met with an unforeseen event and his cultivation dropped greatly. In a mere 4 years, his cultivation dropped to 3-1 Qi, and he became known as a good-for-nothing in Wutan City. Xiao Yin, you've got guts. Without Sooner by your side, you actually dared to leave the Xiao family. Xiao Ning looked at Xiao Yin with disdain and let out a cold laugh. Get out of the way, don't block the way. Xiao Yin coldly stared at Xiao Ning with an expressionless face. Stinking brat, what kind of tone is that? Do you still think you're that genius? Now you're just a good-for-nothing. I really don't understand why Sooner would still like a good-for-nothing like you. Xiao Ning coldly snorted, his face gloomy. Hearing this, Xiao Yin clenched his fists, his eyes burning with anger. What? Looking at your expression, could it be that you want to attack me? Xiao Ning mocked, not putting Xiao Yin in his eyes. Saying this, Xiao Ning dived down and in an instant appeared in front of Xiao Yin and punched out. Xiao Yin was on guard and immediately raised his fist to block. Pong! Accompanied by a low, deep muffled sound, Xiao Yin flew backwards and violently smashed onto the green stone bricks, raising a cloud of dust. Yo, how could our Xiao family's genius fall so easily? You've really disgraced our Xiao family. Xiao Ning clapped his hands and suddenly lowered his voice. Don't think that with Sooner's protection, I won't dare to do anything to you. Next time I see you, I'll beat you down. Let's go. After a burst of ridicule, Xiao Ning waved his robe and left. AI, what a pity. The Xiao family's genius is gone forever. The show is over. Let's disperse. The onlookers sighed and left one after another. Looking at the back of Xiao Ning's group leaving, Xiao Yin wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, his face full of anger. If it wasn't for the incident 4 years ago, how could a mere Xiao Ning dare to treat him like this? Little brat, are you feeling unreconciled, but helpless? Chu Bei walked to Xiao Yan's side, his voice carrying a smile. Xiao Yin didn't even look at Chu Bei. He brushed the dust off his body and coldly snorted. You want strength? I can give it to you. Chu Bei said again. Xiao Yin raised his head and stared straight at Chu Bei, but still remained silent. Chapter 3. The Douqi continent respects the strong. According to the cultivation levels, they are divided into Douqi, Douzhe, Doushi, Dodoshi, Douling, Douwang, Douhuang, Douzong, Douzun, Doushang, and the legendary Doudi. Each level is further divided into 9 stars. On the street, Chu Bei calmly looked at Xiao Yin. Here, without strength, you are nothing. But now, as long as you have money, I can give you strength. Why should I believe you? Xiao Yin finally spoke. Chu Bei smiled knowingly and raised his head 45 degrees to look into the distance. Alone in a foreign land. I miss my family even more during the festive season. Knowing that my brother has climbed to a high place, there is only one person left. Listening to the familiar poem, Xiao Yin was stunned at first, then his eyes suddenly widened. Damn, you are also from Earth. Chu Bei shook his head. I am a celestial merchant, traveling to all the major dimensions. Earth, I have only stopped by once, but I know that you are from there. Xiao Yin took a deep breath, his eyes shining. If that is the case, can I understand you as a transmigrator from the After-Sales Association? Are you here to give me a cheat? Chu Bei raised his finger and waved it. I am a merchant, not against you, not against transmigrators, but against every rich person. You can call me Boss Chu. Do you believe me now? Chu Bei's lips curled up. Yes, of course I believe you. Xiao Yin nodded heavily without hesitation. He hurriedly took out 20 gold coins and looked at Chu Bei with incomparable sincerity. Boss Chu, is this enough? Looking at the pile of shiny gold coins in Xiao Yan's hand, Chu Bei did not speak, but the corner of his mouth twitched slightly. Even if it was a level 1 lucky wheel, it would still cost 1,000 gold coins to spin it once. Boss Chu, is this not enough? Noticing Chu Bei's expression, Xiao Yan carefully probed, if it's not enough, I have more in my residence. Let's go directly to the Xiao mansion. Chu Bei waved his hand at Xiao Yan, indicating for him to take back the 20 gold coins. Xiao Yan was a little embarrassed. Then, as if he had thought of something, he asked as he walked, Boss Chu, then do you know why my cultivation base has declined since 3 years ago? Chu Bei didn't say anything. He just stretched out his hand and pointed at the simple black ring on Xiao Yan's right index finger. Is it all because of this? Xiao Yan immediately took off the black ring, which was left to him by his mother. As expected, the moment Xiao Yan took off the ring, the dou qi that was like stagnant water in his body became active. Damn it, so it really is you. Because of you, I became known as trash in Wutan City and was ridiculed by everyone. After confirming that the main culprit of the 3 years of humiliation was the ring he always wore, Xiao Yan gnashed his teeth and fiercely pinched the ring. The difference between the two was like a chasm. Xiao Yan never thought that there would be a day when the Yunlan sect would step into the Xiao family. Why are they here? Xiao Yan was puzzled. At this moment, the white-robed old man stood up from his seat and said, Xiao family head, I have come to ask for a favor. Mr. Guyi, if you have something to say, just say it. If it is within my power, my Xiao family will definitely help. Xiao Zhan was very polite and didn't show the slightest bit of disrespect. Xiao family head, do you still remember the name Nalan Yinran? Guyi pointed at the young girl beside him and smiled at Xiao Zhan. Hearing this name, Xiao Zhan's expression changed. He suddenly stood up from his chair and looked at the young girl again. After being stunned for a while, he opened his mouth and said, She is Nalan Yinran, grandfather Nalan's granddaughter? Uncle Xiao, niece hasn't come to see you all these years. I hope you don't blame me. Nalan Yinran stood up and cupped her hands towards Xiao Zhan. Niece, what are you saying? Back then, the two elders were engaged. In the future, we will be a family sooner or later. Xiao Zhan's face was full of joy. Xiao family head, I'm afraid you don't know, but Yinran has already been accepted as a direct disciple by our sect head. She is the best candidate for the next Yunlan sect head. Hearing Xiao Zhan's words, Guyi slightly frowned. What? She is Nalan Yinran, and she is the Yunlan sect's young sect head? It is said that before she and Xiao Yin were born, the two elders had already engaged them. How can that trash be worthy of such a proud daughter? Almost at the same time, the other Xiao family members in the hall began to discuss. Chapter 4. Xiao Yin Gij, your little wife is here to look for you. Xiao Suner glared at Xiao Yin, her words filled with jealousy. Xiao Yin coughed lightly and avoided Xiao Suner's gaze. His expression was slightly awkward. As for Chu Bei, he had his hands crossed in front of his chest from beginning to end, as if he was waiting to watch a show. Xiao family head, my request is related to Yinran. Guyi glanced at Nalan Yinran beside him, then his gaze returned to Xiao Zhan. The Yunlan sect is strict, and the sect leader has already begun to groom Yinran as the next sect leader of the Yunlan sect. According to the sect rules, before the successor of the sect leader becomes the official sect leader, she cannot have any entanglement with any man. Mr. Gu, what are you trying to say? Xiao Zhan seemed to have thought of a possibility. The smile on his face disappeared, and his expression became gloomy. Xiao family head, since you asked, I won't beat around the bush. We came here today to cancel the engagement between Yinran and Xiao Yin. Guyi calmly looked at Xiao Zhan. Whoosh, what? They're here to cancel the engagement. What's the fuss about? Isn't this reasonable? That's true. Not to mention that Xiao Yin is trash now. Even if he was a genius in the past, Nailin Yinran would never fall for him. After all, she is the future sect leader of the Yunlan sect. A toad really can't eat swan meat. The moment Gu Ye's voice fell, the atmosphere in the hall instantly became strange. Xiao family members of the older generation had angry expressions on their faces, while the younger generation looked at Xiao Yin with mockery and ridicule. When Chu Bei by the side noticed Xiao Yan's incomparably ugly expression, he extended his hand and patted the latter's shoulder, indicating that he should not mind it. Brother Xiao Yin, she's not good enough for you. Xiao Suner opened her mouth and looked at Nailin Yinran with an imperceptible golden flame in her eyes. Bang! Xiao Zhan fiercely slammed his palm down, and with a muffled sound, the table turned into dust. Within the main hall, the originally clamorous noise suddenly fell into silence because of this sudden sound. Xiao family head, I also know that this request is somewhat difficult, but this is not only my idea, but also Lord Sect Master's idea. I am just passing on his behalf. Facing the furious Xiao Zhan, Gu Ye's expression didn't change at all. At the same time, he deliberately emphasized the words Sect Master. Mad Lion's rage. Xiao Zhan clenched his fist. As he roared, a pale green dough-chi covered his body and an illusory lion's head appeared on his face. Xiao family head, could it be that you want to make a move? Gu Ye's eyes narrowed. Accompanied by a cold snort, his eagle claw-like hands suddenly bent. Green dough-chi gathered in the center of his palms and emitted a small but sharp sword chi. Xiao Zhan, what are you trying to do? Don't forget, you are the head of the Xiao family. He is now representing the Yunlan sect. Could it be that you want to consign our Xiao family to eternal damnation? The three elders beside Xiao Zhan quickly opened their mouths and shouted, their voices like thunder. Xiao Zhan seemed to have thought of his own identity. His body suddenly stiffened, and the dough-chi that was rampaging around his body slowly retracted until it completely disappeared. Then, Xiao Zhan looked in the direction of Xiao Yin, took a deep breath, and sat back down on his chair. He looked at Nailin Yinran and said indifferently, you are the future sect master of the Yunlan sect. In the future, you will definitely be an influential person in the Kama Empire. My Yin is just a mediocre person now, and is indeed not worthy of you. Let's leave it at that. Thank you, Uncle Xiao, for your understanding. Hearing Xiao Zhan's words, Nailin Yinran's face lit up with joy. She immediately took out a green jade box from her bosom and said, Uncle Xiao, take this as my apology. The moment the box was opened, a strange fragrance filled the entire hall. Smelling it made one feel refreshed. Chi gathering powder. Seeing the green pill in the box, the younger generation of the Xiao family members in the hall exclaimed in shock. Their eyes lit up. In the path of cultivation, from 9 Duan Qi to Doja, one must first condense a Do-Chi whirlpool in the body. However, there is a high chance of failure in condensing a Do-Chi whirlpool. If one fails, their 9 Duan Qi will drop to 8 Duan Qi. The effect of the Qi gathering powder is to allow a 9 Duan Qi whirlpool to be condensed with a 100% success rate. This is also the reason why the younger generation of the Xiao family members in the hall were drooling over it. Miss Nailin, please take back this Qi gathering powder. I won't agree to your request. Suddenly, Xiao Yan's voice rang out in the hall. Almost at the same time, everyone in the hall focused their attention on Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan, can't you see what kind of situation this is? You have no right to speak. Go back to your seat. Your father and I will make the decision. The three elders' faces darkened as they angrily shouted. This is my marriage. Why do I need you to make the decision? I didn't interfere with your marriage back then. Xiao Yin wasn't afraid of the three elders at all. How dare you? What are you talking about? Do you still have any respect for us? The three elders stood up at the same time. Their eyebrows were filled with anger as they slowly gathered their Do-Chi. Xiao Yin Gij is right. He is the one involved in the annulment of the marriage. It should be you guys who shouldn't get involved. Xiao Suner left her seat and came to Xiao Yan's side. The three elders seemed to be very afraid of Xiao Suner. Seeing her help Xiao Yin, they didn't say anything else and chose to remain silent. Chapter 5. Boss Chu, how fast can I defeat Nalan Yanran? Xiao Yin leaned close to Chu Bei and asked in a low voice. Chu Bei smiled knowingly. As long as you have enough money, the time it takes to brew a cup of tea is enough. Hearing Chu Bei's answer, Xiao Yin nodded and then turned his gaze back to Nalan Yanran. I accept your promise, but it's not 3 years, it's 45 minutes. Just as Xiao Yan's calm voice sounded, the originally quiet hall once again turned into an uproar. Is Xiao Yin crazy? Miss Nalan already gave him a lot of face and was willing to delay the engagement for 3 years. How can he be so unreliable? Even if he was a genius in the past, he wouldn't be Miss Nalan's opponent, let alone a piece of trash with 3 Duan Qi. That's right. Miss Nalan is already a 3-star doja and also learned the Yunlan sect's do techniques. Even 100 Xiao Yans wouldn't be a threat. He's a disgrace to our Xiao family. In the hall, the younger generation of the Xiao family looked at Xiao Yin with disdain and ridicule. As for the elders of the Xiao family, their faces were filled with anger. Nonsense. Xiao Yin, you want to defeat Nalan Yanran in 45 minutes? Do you think the path of cultivation is like eating and drinking? Why aren't you leaving? The 3 elders of the Xiao family scolded again with gloomy faces. Xiao Yin Gij, what are you saying? Even though Sun Air has a pill that can raise one's strength to doja for a short period of time, it can only be used by someone with 9 Duan Qi. With your current condition, if you eat that pill, your body will explode. Don't do anything stupid. Xiao Suner tugged at Xiao Yan's arm, her delicate and flawless face filled with worry. Looking at Nalan Yanran, Gu Yi, and the other members of the Yunlan sect, other than contempt, each of them had a look of surprise on their faces. Clearly, they did not expect Xiao Yin to say such words. Yin, what are you thinking? Xiao Zhan, who was sitting in the main seat, looked at Xiao Yin in confusion. Based on his understanding of Xiao Yin, the latter would not say such words in such an occasion. Miss Nalan, I will head to the battle arena in 45 minutes. If you feel that the time is not a problem, you can go to the arena and rest first. After saying that, Xiao Yin shifted his gaze to Xiao Zhan. Father, please follow me. Xiao Yin Gij, what are you trying to do? Xiao Suner frowned and quickly followed Xiao Yin. Sun Air, you go to the arena first and wait for me there. Xiao Yin stroked Xiao Suner's hair, his eyes filled with love. Yin, what is it that you can't talk about in front of everyone? After following Xiao Yin to a private room, Xiao Zhan asked the question that was bothering him. At the same time, his eyes were filled with curiosity towards Chu Bei. Father, how much money do you have in your storage ring? Xiao Yin pointed at the storage ring on Xiao Zhan's finger and asked. Faced with Xiao Yan's sudden question, Xiao Zhan was stunned. After regaining his composure, he immediately replied, 500,000. Why are you suddenly concerned about this? Xiao Zhan became more and more confused. His 3 sons had a common trait, which was that they never asked about the family's finances. Boss Chu, is it okay now? Xiao Yin looked at Chu Bei. Chu Bei nodded slightly and waved his right hand. The void trembled, and a ripple appeared. A golden disc with a diameter of 1 meter emerged from the ripples, exuding a dazzling light. When the light dissipated, it could be clearly seen that the disc was divided into 10 areas. Each area flashed with a square box of a different color. In addition, there was a silver pointer hanging from the disc. At the top of the pointer, there were 7 large words engraved. Level 1 Wheel of Fortune. This. Looking at the wheel that appeared out of thin air and suspended in the air, Xiao Zhan's pupils suddenly shrank. At the same time, he was shocked. At the same time, he looked at Chu Bei again. This is the Wheel of Fortune that I chose for you to increase your strength. As for what you get, it all depends on your luck. Chu Bei looked at Xiao Yin expressionlessly. The price of this wheel is fair. 1,000 gold coins per spin. Hiss. Hearing the price, Xiao Yin immediately sucked in a breath of cold air. His monthly allowance was only 20 gold coins, but the price of this wheel was as high as 1,000 gold coins per spin. It was equivalent to 4 years of his allowance. No wonder when he asked Xiao Zhan on the street, Xiao Zhan had an indescribable expression. Boss Chu, can you give me a discount? If it's useful, I'll definitely be a regular customer in the future. Xiao Yin raised his eyebrows at Chu Bei and chuckled. This is a small business, no discounts. Chu Bei's response left no room for negotiation. Father, give me the money. Xiao Yin turned to look at Xiao Zhan. Xiao Zhan was stunned at first, but after he reacted, he hurriedly took out the money. Just as Xiao Zhan took out 1,000 gold coins from his storage ring, the golden wheel vibrated again. In the next moment, a whirlpool appeared in the center of the wheel and swallowed the 1,000 gold coins in an instant. The system has gained 10 willpower. The host has gained 5 willpower. Almost at the same time, the system's voice sounded in Chu Bei's mind. At this moment, under the shocked gazes of Xiao Zhan and Xiao Yin, the silver needle on the wheel spun wildly. Ding! After about 10 seconds, the silver needle stopped at one of the 10 areas on the wheel. Immediately after, the square box in the area stopped by the needle flew out. At the same time, another square box appeared and replaced the one that flew out. Boom! With a loud sound, the square box exploded. Thank you for your patronage. For bright words appeared in the area where the square box exploded. After a short pause, they turned into a rain of light and dissipated. Boss Chu, what's the meaning of this? 1,000 gold coins went down the drain? Xiao Yin stared blankly at Chu Bei. If he didn't know that he was from Earth, he would have thought that he was a cheat. Xiao Yin, my friend, there are gains and losses. Don't worry, don't worry. Chu Bei patted Xiao Yan's shoulder. Time is limited. Why don't you turn 5 at once? I'm sure there will be some that can increase your strength. Okay. Xiao Yin nodded and looked at Xiao Zhan. Father, continue giving me the money. Just like before, Xiao Zhan took out 5,000 gold coins and they were swallowed by the whirlpool in the center of the wheel. The system has gained 50 willpower. The host has gained 25 willpower. Ding, 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 ding. The silver needle spun 5 times and 5 square boxes flew out one after another. Boom. Under the expectant gazes of Xiao Yin and Xiao Zhan, the 5 square boxes exploded at the same time. Thank you for your patronage. 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 Looking at the same words floating side by side, Chu Bei couldn't help but cough awkwardly. This was especially the case when he met Xiao Yan's questioning gaze. He subconsciously rubbed his nose. Chapter 6. Boss Chu, what's going on? Xiao Yan took a deep breath and tried his best to remain calm as he looked at Chu Bei. Can you give me an explanation? Little friend Xiao Yan. What's the saying again? The more precious something is, the harder it is to obtain. Chu Bei took a step forward and patted Xiao Yan's shoulder. Trust me, once you open it, it will definitely be worth it. Okay, then I'll open it in groups of 10. After saying that, Xiao Yan looked at Xiao Zhan again. Xiao Zhan obviously understood Xiao Yan's meaning and nodded his head, taking out 10,000 gold coins from his storage ring. The system has received 100 willpower, and the host has received 50 willpower. Just as the 10,000 gold coins were swallowed up by the whirlpool in the center of the disc, the system's voice sounded in Chu Bei's mind. Looking at the silver needle that was already spinning, Chu Bei felt an inexplicable sense of apprehension. He really didn't expect that the chances of getting a treasure would be so low. If this set of 10 boxes still didn't yield anything, then he really wouldn't have the face-to-face Xiao Yan. With a series of clinking sounds, 10 square boxes flew out and floated side by side in the air before exploding. The first 5 boxes, thank you for your patronage. The 6th box contained a gray sphere the size of an egg. The 7th to 9th boxes, thank you for your patronage. The 10th box contained a white pill the size of a longan that exuded a medicinal fragrance. We got something. Looking at the gray sphere and the white pill, Xiao Yan's expression turned for the better. This is the magic core of a first-rank wood-type magical beast? Xiao Zhan took the floating gray sphere and examined it. On the Douqi continent, other than humans, there were also various types of magical beasts. The so-called magic core referred to a type of energy crystal within a magical beast's body. Although it couldn't be directly absorbed by humans, in the hands of an alchemist, it could be combined with other medicinal herbs to create different types of medicinal pills. Moreover, the magic core could also be added to the weapon, making it even more destructive than before. especially the magic cores of high-level magical beasts. They were highly sought after by powerful alchemists and alchemists. It's only a first-rank magic core? And a wood-type one? Hearing Xiao Zhan's words, Xiao Yan's eyebrows immediately furrowed. Although magic cores were valuable, there were different grades. A first-rank magic core, and the cheapest wood-type at that, would sell for around 800 gold coins in the market. In other words, although this box didn't give a thank you for your patronage, its value wasn't even worth the cost. Meeting Xiao Yan's questioning gaze, Chu Bei smiled knowingly. He pointed to the white pill that had been opened from the other box and said, "Why don't the two of you take a look at it? This is..." Hearing this, Xiao Zhan and Xiao Yan's eyes simultaneously focused on the white pill. Their eyes filled with confusion. This is a Do Qi pill. Under the Doja level, no matter if you have 8 Duan Qi or no Do Qi, as long as you swallow this pill, you will immediately raise your Do Qi by 1 Duan Qi without any side effects. Chu Bei's mouth curved up. There's actually such a pill? How come I've never heard of it before? Xiao Zhan frowned. He knew of all the pills that could help in the Do Qi stage, but he had never heard of such a pill. Even if there were pills with similar effects, it would take at least 2 to 3 months to refine in order to raise Do Qi by 1 Duan Qi. In my place, not only do I have Do Qi pills, I also have Doja pills, Doshir pills, Doshir pills, Doling pills, and even Do Di pills. It's just that they aren't in the level 1 Wheel of Fortune. Chu Bei continued, Boss Chu, according to what you said, if I swallow this Do Qi pill, I will immediately have 4 Duan Qi? Xiao Yan swallowed his saliva and looked at Chu Bei expectantly. It's right in front of you. Swallow it and you'll know. Chu Bei said calmly. Okay. Xiao Yan didn't hesitate any longer. He immediately grabbed the Do Qi pill and threw it into his mouth. In a split second, Xiao Yan's face flushed red and emitted a warm glow. It really works. Feeling the Do Qi in his body quickly filling up, Xiao Yan's face was filled with joy. At the same time, he concentrated his Do Qi as if he was breaking in the Do Qi that suddenly appeared in his body. 4 Duan Qi, success. After a few seconds, Xiao Yan's Do Qi stabilized and he excitedly clenched his fists. Looking at Chu Bei, his eyes were filled with gratitude. The ridicule and humiliation he had suffered in the past 3 years had made him deeply realize how important strength was on this continent. Even just a minute ago, his heart was still uneasy. It wasn't that he doubted Chu Bei, but he was really afraid of failure. He was afraid that everything was fake. But when he swallowed the Do Qi pill and his Do Qi rose from 3 Duan Qi to 4 Duan Qi, the uneasiness in his heart finally disappeared. The golden finger really came. Talking about the price, the level 2 foundation elixir could raise a person's Do Qi from 3 Duan Qi to 5 Duan Qi within 3 months. In the market, it was sold for 30,000 gold coins. As for the Do Qi pill, other than being useful for low Duan Qi, it was also useful for high Duan Qi, and there was no time limit. If it was sold in the market, this Do Qi pill would be worth at least 30,000 gold coins, or even more. In other words, even if he did not include the rank 1 wood-type monster core, just this Do Qi Dan alone, compared to the 16,000 gold coins that he had spent so far, was still a huge profit. Yin, are you feeling any discomfort? Xiao Zhan felt the change in Xiao Yan's Do Qi, and at the same time, his eyes were filled with worry. Father, don't worry, I'm fine. If Boss Chu said there are no side effects, then there really aren't. He is my benefactor. Xiao Yan replied to Xiao Zhan. There really is such a pill in this world. Xiao Zhan let out a long sigh. Compared to Doja, Do Qi was the foundation and was much harder to cultivate. There were quite a few people who spent 10 or even 20 years on a Duan Qi beginner. But just a moment ago, he witnessed with his own eyes a kind of medicinal pill called Battle Qi Dan break this cultivation shackle. Father, continue to pay. Xiao Yan's voice sounded again. Hearing this, Xiao Zhan recovered from his shock and directly took out 50,000 gold coins and bought 5 stacks in a row. The system has gained 500 willpower, and the host has gained 250 willpower. There was a total of 50 square boxes. In addition to the thank you for your patronage, there were also some body-tempering herbs and 3 Do Qi pills. Xiao Yan swallowed 3 Do Qi pills, and his Do Qi reached 7 Duan Qi. Right now, Xiao Yan's goal was very clear. Douqi pills. 30,000 gold coins. He bought 3 stacks. The system has gained 300 willpower, and the host has gained 150 willpower. 30 square boxes. There were 2 Douqi pills. Xiao Yan swallowed them, and his Douqi reached 9 Duanqi. Chapter 7. Little friend Xiao Yan, your cultivation has already reached 9-stage Douqi. Douqi pills are no longer of any use to you. Just as Xiao Yan was about to continue spending money, Chu Bei reminded him. Boss Chu, then how can I break through to Doja? Xiao Yan asked. Revolving core, it can help you condense your Douqi and become a Doja. Speaking up to here, Chu Bei's tone suddenly changed. But the level 1 Wheel of Fortune will not give you a revolving core? Then how much does the level 2 Wheel of Fortune cost? Xiao Yan asked tentatively. Chu Bei smiled and waved his hand. The level 1 wheel in front of him disappeared and was replaced by a wheel with the words Level 2 Wheel of Fortune engraved on it. 10,000 gold coins going once. Chu Bei said lightly. See. Hearing this price, Xiao Yan sucked in a breath of cold air. That is to say, to open a set, it would cost him 100,000 gold coins. Yin Air, as long as it can increase your strength, money is not a problem. Just as Xiao Yan was hesitating, Xiao Zhan opened his mouth and took out 300,000 gold coins from his storage ring. The system has received 3,000 willpower. The host has received 1,500 willpower. As the whirlpool in the center of the wheel swallowed the 300,000 gold coins, the system's voice sounded in Chu Bei's mind. At the same time, the needle began to move. After 30 times, 30 square boxes floated in the room in an orderly manner. Compared to the level 1 Wheel of Fortune, the level 2 Wheel of Fortune was clearly more exquisite. Bang! A dazzling light bloomed, and the 30 square boxes exploded at the same time. There were 21 thank you for your patronage, 4 level 2 monster cores, 2 herbs, a purple pill, a blue pill, and a scroll that emitted a fluorescent light. Boss Chu, is there a revolving core in these 3 pills? Xiao Yan immediately asked, his eyes filled with anticipation and some apprehension. Chu Bei smiled. His eyes swept over the 3 pills and said, the purple one is a revolving core. You already know its effects. The cyan color was the Doja pill. Its effect was similar to the Douqi pill, but the target was changed to a Doja. Consuming one can increase your cultivation by 1 star. Great! Xiao Yan cheered with incomparable excitement. He carefully took the revolving condensation pill and swallowed it. Once the revolving coagulation pill entered his mouth, a faint icy cold feeling spread through Xiao Yan's mouth. Following that, the warm and pure energy entered his body through his mouth, rushing through his limbs and bones. Almost at the same time, the calm air in the room suddenly rippled. Traces of pale white Douqi seeped out of the air and into Xiao Yan's body. Unlike other people who had painful expressions when condensing cyclones, Xiao Yan's expression did not change at all. Instead, it gave people a feeling of enjoyment. Very quickly, the surging Douqi in Xiao Yan's body seemed to have received an order at the same time and began to rapidly shrink towards his lower abdomen. Bang! A muffled sound came from Xiao Yan's body. The Douji Qi vortex had been successfully formed. Haha, success. The familiar strength from 4 years ago has returned. Feeling the abundant Dou Qi in his body that he had not felt for 4 years, Xiao Yan laughed out loud, his chest violently rising and falling. Yin Air, you became a Doja again. Xiao Zhan's hands trembled as he held on to Xiao Yan's arms. Unknowingly, his eyes had become red and moist. Xiao Yan was his greatest pride. At 4 years old, he started Dou Qi. At 9 years old, he became a Doja. At 11, he became a Doja. However, 3 years ago, Xiao Yan suddenly encountered an unforeseen event, causing his cultivation to plummet. In a mere 4 years, his cultivation fell to 3 Duanqi, and he became known as the trash of Wu-Tan City. As a father, for the past 4 years, Xiao Zhan had to withstand the pressure from the clan and constantly search for Doja for Xiao Yan. But it was all to no avail. No matter what, he did not dare to imagine that today, Xiao Yan's cultivation had returned to Doja. Boss Chu, you are not only Yin Air's benefactor, but also my. Xiao Zhan's, and even the entire Xiao family's benefactor. Xiao Zhan's voice was filled with emotion. As he spoke, he was about to kneel down in front of Chu Bei. Chu Bei quickly helped Xiao Zhan up. Xiao family head, you don't have to thank me. I'm just a merchant. You pay the money and I pay the goods. This is a fair trade, nothing more. Boss Chu, since you said so, then I won't be sentimental. Xiao Yin opened his mouth and threw another doja dan into his mouth. In the blink of an eye, Xiao Yin broke through to 2 stars doja. Yin Air, you are only 1 star away from catching up to Nailin Yinran. Xiao Zhan clenched his fists and looked at Chu Bei. He took out another 100,000 gold coins from his storage ring. Boss Chu, with the money I have left, I can buy another set. Based on the host cultivation, the host has reached the upper limit of gold coins sold today. But at this moment, an incongruous system sound rang out in Chu Bei's mind. What the F *CK? There's still an upper limit. Hearing the system's voice, Chu Bei was stunned and couldn't help but curse. His plan to become a doja in 7 days was ruined. Boss Chu, why isn't it spinning? Xiao Zhan pointed at the spinning wheel with a puzzled expression. Today's trade is over, come back tomorrow. Chu Bei coughed and waved his hand to put away the spinning wheel. Boss Chu, Yin Air is only 1 star away from catching up to Nailin Yinran. If you don't give us another doja dan, we will still lose the next round. Xiao Zhan's words were filled with pleading. Xiao Yin was silent. Like Xiao Zhan, his eyes were also filled with pleading. He didn't want to fail so badly. If it's just to beat Nailin Yinran, you don't have to worry, because I have this. Chu Bei's gaze swept across Xiao Zhan and Xiao Yin before finally pointing at the floating scroll that was emitting a fluorescent light. Extreme Blade Storm? Xiao Yin casually read the 3 most eye-catching words on the scroll. Unlike the doja dan here, it has no rank. If you use it as a doja, it's equivalent to a high mystic doja dan. In terms of killing power, it's even comparable to a low earth doja dan. Chu Bei replied. Extreme Blade Storm originated from the 2nd skill of the hero armor in the game King of Glory. It can be used twice in an instant, and the 2nd slash will send the enemy flying for 0.5 seconds. At the same time, the next attack will become a slash, greatly increasing the killing power. A doja dan that grows stronger with the increase in cultivation. Xiao Yan's throat wriggled. He was so excited that words couldn't describe it. Just as he carefully tried to take the scroll, the moment his palm touched it, the scroll turned into a rain of light and flew directly into his forehead. Xiao Yan's body suddenly trembled. At this moment, a large amount of information about the extreme blade storm was poured into his mind. Although it was only a few seconds, to him, it was as if he had practiced the extreme blade storm for several years. Every detail, every movement, he had already grasped it. Right now, he only lacked a blade, a medium to use the extreme blade storm. Chapter 8. Xiao Family, Battle Arena. The huge circular fighting ring was filled with members of the Xiao clan. All the younger generation members had also rushed over to inquire about the situation. The 3 elders of the Xiao family, Gu Yi, Nailin Yinran, and the other members of the Yunlan sect were sitting on the main seat closest to the battle arena. Look, clan leader and Xiao Yin are here. Don't tell me that Xiao Yin really wants to have a duel with Nailin Xiaojia. What right does he have? In my opinion, he must have thought it through and decided to postpone the duel to 3 years later. Although he will still lose 3 years later, at least he has delayed it for 3 years, right? The younger generation of the Xiao family noticed Xiao Yin, Xiao Zhan, and Chu Bei walking over from afar. They exclaimed in surprise and ridicule. Xiao Yin, brother. Xiao Suner stood up from her seat and waved at Xiao Yin. Xiao Yin ignored the ridicule around him. He nodded at Xiao Suner and stepped onto the battle arena. Xiao Zhan, do you really want Xiao Yin to duel with Nailin Yinran? With Xiao Yan's strength, he can't even withstand one move from Nailin Yinran. If he loses now, he will not only embarrass you, but also the entire Xiao family. While there is still time, let's make Xiao Yin regret. The 3 elders couldn't wait to speak as soon as Xiao Zhan sat on the main seat. Shut up, all of you. Xiao Zhan glanced at the 3 elders and snorted. This is his own business. No matter what decision he makes, as his father, I will support him unconditionally. If Nalan Yinran fails, Xiao Yin will be seriously injured even if he doesn't die. Don't regret it then. The three elders looked gloomy. Xiao Zhan no longer responded to the three elders. He looked at Xiao Yin, who was already standing on the stage. There wasn't the slightest trace of worry on his face. Miss Nalan, you can go on stage now. Xiao Yin looked at Nalan Yinran and said calmly, have you really thought it through? Nalan Yinran leaped and landed on the stage. Of course. If you win this battle, I'll agree to you annulling the engagement in front of everyone. Xiao Yan's eyes met Nalan Yinran's calmly. Don't worry, after breaking off the engagement, I will make it up to your Xiao family. Nalan Yinran looked happy and confident. After saying that, Nalan Yinran looked at Xiao Zhan. Uncle Xiao, can you announce the start of the competition? Xiao Zhan looked at Xiao Yin, cleared his throat and said, let's begin. Just as Xiao Zhan finished speaking, Nalan Yinran moved. Do Qi surrounded her body as she sent a palm strike towards Xiao Yin. A mere 3 Duan Do Qi, there's nothing to see. Yeah, Junior Yinran only needs to use 30% of her strength to send that Xiao Yin flying. If it was me, I wouldn't go easy on him. Even if I killed him, a small Xiao family wouldn't dare to cause trouble for our Yunlan sect. In the audience, the people from the Yunlan sect looked at Xiao Yin with disdain. Peng. But in the next moment, the disdain on their faces disappeared along with the sound of the collision. What replaced it was a deep shock. Not only were the people from the Yunlan sect shocked, but the people from the Xiao family were also shocked. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. Just a moment ago, just as Nalan Yinran's palm was about to land on Xiao Yan's body, the latter raised his right fist and directly met the attack. The fist and palm collided. The expected scene of Xiao Yin being sent flying didn't happen. Instead, he didn't move an inch. He took it. He's only 3 Duan Do Qi. How could he take Junior Yinran's palm strike? The people from the Yunlan sect recovered from their shock and couldn't help but exclaim, no, 2 stars for fighter. At this moment, Gu Yi and the Xiao family's first elder stood up and shouted at the same time. What? 2 stars for fighter? Impossible. Could it be that Xiao Yan's cultivation hasn't declined? Everything is an illusion. He really hit it well. Why is he doing this? But in yesterday's test, the Devil Stone tablet showed that he was only 3 Duan Do Qi. Could it be that he still has a way to trick the Devil Stone tablet? Hearing the first elder mention Xiao Yan's cultivation, everyone present was at a loss for words. Then, they looked at each other. Xiao Zhan, did you know Xiao Yan's true cultivation from the start? Why did you create an illusion? You even tricked our own people. Noticing Xiao Zhan's calm expression, the second elder questioned. Xiao Zhan was silent. His gaze had never left Xiao Yan's body since the beginning. Xiao Yan Gij, what did you do in these short 45 minutes? Xiao Suner stared at the figure on the stage and muttered to herself, So what if he's a 2 stars fighter? He's still 1 star lower than Junior Yinran. Moreover, Junior Yinran's middle mystic Do Qi is the wind-splitting whirlwind dance. That's right, the result will be the same anyway. The people from the Yunlan sect sneered, not at all worried that Nalan Yinran would lose. I didn't think that the rumors were all fake. Your cultivation didn't regress at all. Nalan Yinran retracted her hand and took a few steps back. Since it's like this, then I'll let you see my true strength. Wind-splitting whirlwind dance. With a clear shout, Nalan Yinran's calm demeanor was replaced with a serious expression. The thin sword in her right hand danced. The Do Qi around her body surged and wrapped around the sword. Finally, the tip of the sword flashed with white light, forming several rays of Do Qi. Chi-Chi. Nalan Yinran swung her sword. The sword trembled and several rays of Do Qi shot out from the tip of the sword, intertwining in the air with an ear-piercing sound. The target was Xiao Yin. Xiao Yin didn't dodge. There was no fear in his eyes. He pulled out the long blade at his waist and waved it in an orderly manner. Is Xiao Yin crazy? Why isn't he dodging? That's a mystic intermediate Do Qi. What's more, Nalan Yinran's cultivation is 1 star higher than his. He's too conceited. Just as the younger generation of the Xiao family was discussing, Another shout came from the arena. Extreme blade storm. With this shout, Xiao Yan's figure disappeared from everyone's sight for a moment. When the crowd saw Xiao Yan again, he was already holding his blade and facing the Do Qi from Nalan Yanran. Xiao Yan's blade was very fast. The blade brought about a whistling whirlwind. The first slash cut through all the Do Qi with a crack. The second slash appeared directly in front of Nalan Yanran. Oh no! Looking at the blade in front of her, Nalan Yanran's pupils shrank. Without any hesitation, Nalan Yanran raised her sword to block. However, just as Nalan Yanran was about to pour all her Do Qi into the blade in front of her inexplicably spewed out a strange energy fluctuation. In an instant, her body was lifted up uncontrollably. The Do Qi in her body was imprisoned and she couldn't move. At this moment, the blade and the sword collided. Chapter 9. Clang. With a crisp sound, the long sword in Nalan Yanran's hand flew out and broke into two pieces. In a split second, Xiao Yan swung his sword for the third time. Compared to the previous two slashes, the power of the third slash was obviously more terrifying. No. No. Looking at the approaching blade, Nalan Yanran's pupils dilated rapidly. Her eyes were filled with fear, and her heart was filled with coldness. She tried to control her body to avoid the slash, but the strange energy confined her, and she lost control of her body. But just as she was about to close her eyes and welcome the arrival of the Grim Reaper, the figure in her line of sight controlled the blade and changed its direction. In the cold light, the blade slid down Nalan Yanran's right arm by 10 centimeters and cut into the fighting ring. Boom! There was a loud sound, and a deep gully appeared where the saber landed. Almost at the same time, the strange energy that was supporting Nalan Yanran disappeared. She regained her freedom and fell from 3 meters in the air. Recalling the third slash from before, and then looking at the deep gully on the table beside her, Nalan Yanran's originally rosy face instantly became incomparably pale, and her footsteps were even more unstable, as if she could fall at any time. Plop! In the end, Nalan Yanran couldn't hold on. Her legs went soft, and she fell to the ground uncontrollably. From the beginning to the end, she wasn't injured, but she was still in shock. Just a moment ago, she had a close call with the Grim Reaper. In the fighting ring, there was no sound of fighting. Only Nalan Yanran's heavy breathing could be heard. Her arms struggled to support herself on the fighting ring, and she stared at Xiao Yan unwillingly and fearfully. She lost. Junior Yanran lost. How did this happen? What happened just now? Junior Yanran's fighting energy stagnated. Fighting technique. It must be that kid's fighting technique. Gradually, everyone began to realize what was going on. The faces of the people from the Yunlan sect who had witnessed the previous scene turned gray, and they were extremely upset. Such an outcome was too sudden and unexpected, and it was difficult for them to accept. Not only them, but the members of the Shao clan also gasped. Their faces were filled with bewilderment, as though they had been struck by lightning. Xiao Yan actually won. What Do skill did he use just now? She's not even from our Shao family. Yeah, I've never seen it in the entire battle skill pavilion. It must be the patriarch's favoritism, only passing down such a powerful Do skill to Xiao Yan alone. The younger generation of the Shao family obviously didn't expect this result and were shocked. The calmest person present was none other than Chu Bei. Extreme Blade Storm, the second skill of the King's Glory Hero armor. This second slash had the effect of sending the target flying for 0.5 seconds, which was the strange power that Nalan Yanran felt from the blade. As for the third slash, the next attack after the 2 slashes became a charging slash, and the power of the slash increased once again. Xiao Zhan, did you pass down that Do skill to Xiao Yan? The 3 elders of the Shao family looked at Xiao Zhan at the same time. Other than curiosity, there was also a kind of desire in their eyes. This is Yan Heir's own opportunity, and this Do skill cannot be passed down to outsiders. Speaking up to this point, Xiao Zhan lowered his voice. Don't even think about this Do skill. You've lost. Xiao Yan held the hilt of his blade, and the tip of the blade was pointed at Nalan Yanran, who was paralyzed on the ground. Nalan Yanran was silent, and her body was slightly trembling. She had indeed lost this battle. If it wasn't for her opponent's third slash, it wouldn't have been a deep trench on the stage, but she would have been cut in half. What level of do skill is this? What was the power that sent me flying and temporarily sealed my do chi? Nailin Yinran raised her head and stared at Xiao Yin with her eyes wide open. No comment. Xiao Yin replied with an expressionless face. Yinran, are you okay? At this time, Gu Yi jumped onto the stage and held Nailin Yinran up with one hand. Old Yi, I lost. Nailin Yinran bit her lips, and her face was full of unwillingness. Let's go back to the sect first. We'll think about the marriage when we get back. Gu Yi shook his head and sighed. Wait. Just as Gu Yi, Nailin Yinran, and the other members of the Yunlan sect were about to leave, Xiao Yin stopped them. If you want to say something sarcastic, I advise you to keep it in your stomach. Gu Yi turned around and looked coldly at Xiao Yin. Xiao Yin ignored Gu Yi, and his eyes fell on Nailin Yinran. I accepted your promise and defeated you. Do you think I really want to marry you? Xiao Yin sneered, and then took out a pen and paper from his chest. He wrote while saying, if you really think so, then you're wrong. After writing, Xiao Yin bit his thumb and pressed a clear and eye-catching blood mark on the paper. In my eyes, you're not much better than Pan Jinlian. From the beginning, I didn't have the slightest interest in you. The reason why I defeated you is to tell you that it's not that I, Xiao Yin, don't deserve you, but that I don't even put you, Nailin Yinran, in my eyes. Xiao Yin threw the paper in his hand to Nailin Yinran. Listen, today it's not you, Nailin Yinran, who came to cancel the marriage. It's me, Xiao Yin, who is going to divorce you. Xiao Yan's powerful voice echoed in the huge arena, and everyone was shocked. Hearing Pan Jinlian's name, Nailin Yinran was stunned. But when she took the paper and saw the two eye-catching words at the top, her thin body couldn't help but tremble. This was because she was angry. You dare divorce me. Nailin Yinran's eyes were wide open, and she stared at Xiao Yin in disbelief. She was the granddaughter of the Kama Empire's Marshal Lionheart, Nailin Jie, and the direct disciple of the Kama Empire's #1 sect, the Yunlan sect. With her beauty, talent, and background, there were countless people chasing after her. She never thought that in the end, she would be divorced by a small family. Although this was the result she wanted, it was definitely not in this way. With a divorce, she didn't only lose face for herself, but also for the Marshal's mansion behind her and the Yunlan sect. Xiao Yin, you've gone too far. Gu Yi angrily shouted, and his eagle claw-like hands suddenly bent. Green do chi gathered in his palms, and sharp sword chi surged. Raging lion's fury. Xiao Zhan appeared in front of Xiao Yin, and with a roar, light green do chi covered his body, and an illusory lion's head gathered in front of his face. Gu Yi, you can leave now, Xiao Zhan glared at Gu Yi. Let's go. Gu Yi snorted. Didn't you say that you'd get 3 chi-gathering elixirs as compensation for breaking off the engagement? Xiao Yan's mocking voice sounded. Hearing that, Nailin Yinran stopped in her tracks, and her veins popped out in anger. In the end, she threw 3 chi-gathering elixirs to Xiao Yin. Thank you, Miss Nailin. Xiao Yin laughed heartily. If this had been before, with his pride, he would never have accepted these 3 chi-gathering elixirs. But now, as long as it was something of value, he wanted it. After all, it could be used to exchange for the number of times he could spin the Wheel of Fortune. Chapter 10. Wu-Tan City, in front of the Xiao family. Chu Bei stopped Gu Yi, Nailin Yinran, and the others. Who are you? How dare you block my way? Gu Yi stopped and coldly looked at Chu Bei. Chu Bei ignored Gu Yi and looked at Nailin Yinran with a smile. You were defeated in one battle and your wife was divorced. Are you very unwilling? In the main hall, I saw you and Xiao Yin together. Did you follow me to make fun of me? Nailin Yinran frowned and coldly snorted. No, I'm just a businessman. Chu Bei stretched out his index finger and said, With me, as long as you have money, I can help you defeat Xiao Yin tomorrow and wash away today's shame. After that, Chu Bei gestured to Nailin Yinran to ask for money, and the corners of his mouth curled up. If Xiao Yin was here and heard Chu Bei's words, who knows what he would think? No need. If you don't make way, don't blame us for being impolite. Nailin Yinran's face was gloomy. Obviously, she did not take Chu Bei's words seriously. If that's the case, then it's a pity. Chu Bei shrugged and did not say anything more. Xiao family, battle arena. Yin, where's Boss Chu? I haven't treated him well yet. Xiao Zhan came to Xiao Yan's side and asked. Xiao Yan looked around and couldn't find Chu Bei's figure. He said, anyway, I already know where he lives. I'll pay him a visit tomorrow. Xiao Yan Gij, how did you suddenly become a 2-stars fighter? Could it be that you've been pretending for the past 3 years? You even fooled Sun Er. But what's the point of doing this? Xiao Suner quickly ran to Xiao Yan's side. Her eyes were wide open, and there was confusion between her brows. It's hard to explain right now. I'll explain it to you in detail later. Xiao Yin stroked Xiao Suner's hair. So what if you won? You humiliated Nailin Yinran like this. Not only her, but the Yunlan sect behind her won't let you off either. First Elder said expressionlessly. Xiao Yin didn't even look at the Great Elder. He pulled Xiao Suner's little hand and walked to the side. At this moment, Chu Bei had also returned home. To be exact, Chu Bei hadn't entered the house yet. He was standing in front of the door, looking at the golden plaque above the door. There were 4 words engraved on the signboard. Celestial Shop. Obviously, this plaque was the system's masterpiece. Crack. Chu Bei pushed open the door. Suddenly, his pupils shrunk. In front of him stood a 2-meter-tall humanoid iron lump robot. What the hell is this? Chu Bei blurted out. In the next moment, Chu Bei's system panel in his mind added the iron lump robot's information. Name, Xiaohei Duty, Protector of Celestial Shop Cultivation. Unable to measure tap, tap, tap. Just as Chu Bei was about to take a closer look at the iron lump robot structure, the latter suddenly turned around and walked towards the corner. Then, it stopped moving, like a statue. Chu Bei went forward to check, but couldn't find anything. He simply ignored it and went straight into the house. At this moment, he had a total of 1,980 willpower points. Looking at the countless items on the screen, Chu Bei thought for a while and decided to use all his willpower points to exchange for cultivation. In the Battle Chi stage, every 300 willpower points can be exchanged for 1 Battle Chi. Host successfully exchanged for cultivation. 6th-stage Battle Chi. 1,800 willpower points deducted. At the same time the system notification sounded, Chu Bei felt his whole body was wrapped in a warm current. Under this warm current, every cell in his body became active and filled with energy. Is this Do Zili? Feeling the sudden increase in power in his body, Chu Bei murmured and nodded with satisfaction. Although 1,980 willpower points can be exchanged for some items with decent destructive power, but after all, those are external items, or can only be used once. Only one's cultivation was permanent. 2 hours later, the entire Wu Tin city became noisy and lively. Groups of 3 to 5 people gathered together, spittle flying everywhere. As for the topic of discussion, have you heard? Marshal Lionheart's granddaughter Nailin Yinran is engaged to Xiao Yin. Not long ago, they came to cancel the engagement. Of course I know, it's already spread. I heard that Nailin Yinran is the direct disciple of the Yunlan sect's sect leader. There's such a thing? Xiao Yin is just a trash now. Nailin Yinran must have succeeded in canceling the engagement. My God, did you just go out? This ending has changed from canceling the engagement to Xiao Yin divorcing his wife. Hurry up and say it. Don't keep us in suspense. Whether it was the streets or the major tea houses, everyone was discussing the matter of Nailin Yinran canceling the engagement. What? Xiao Yin is actually a 2-stars Battle Chi practitioner. Why would he do that? Even when he was humiliated by Xiao Ning, he didn't retaliate. Who knows what kind of medicine he's selling in his gourd? But if we see him in the future, we can't talk about it. After all, we didn't provoke a Battle Chi practitioner. Night fell. Xiao Mansion. In an exquisite little house. Miss, do you have any orders for me? A black shadow appeared in the house. Elderling, I want you to help me investigate that Boss Chu from this morning. Find out what kind of background he has. Xiao Suner looked out the window. Xiao Yin Gij's cultivation rose from 3 to 1 Qi to 2 stars battle Qi because of him. As for his residence, it's at the end of an E Street. Yes, miss. Linging nodded, opened the door, and flew away with his battle Qi wings. In the night, a black shadow streaked across the sky of Xiao Mansion. Arriving at the end of an E Street, Linging released his perception and locked onto Chu Bei's residence after a long time. It's not normal, Linging said. The reason why he was able to lock onto Celestial Shop was because there was an indescribable strange energy fluctuation around the house. This energy fluctuation was very weak. If he wasn't looking for it, he wouldn't have been able to detect it. Looking at the closed door, Ling Ying stepped forward. He prepared to push. However, when Ling Ying's hand was 10 centimeters away from the door, a light barrier appeared. Ling Ying frowned. Immediately, a majestic battle Qi appeared in his palm. Pung! A low muffled sound rang out. The light barrier rippled, but it wasn't damaged at all. Ling Ying, on the other hand, was pushed back several steps by an invisible force. Ling Ying hesitated. After a while, his battle Qi wings flapped, and he flew toward Xiao Mansion. Looking back at Chu Bei, he was sleeping soundly and didn't know what was going on. What? Even you can't break through the barrier. Hearing Ling Ying's words, Xiao Suner was shocked. Elderling, what kind of strength do you think is needed to break through the barrier? At least the peak of Battle Huang, Ling Ying replied. Xiao Suner frowned and thought for a while. Elderling, he will definitely open the door tomorrow morning. When you go there, don't reveal your identity. It's best if you can test his strength. Okay. Ling Ying nodded, bowed, and left the room. Why did you get close to Xiao Yingij? I hope it's not an enemy. Xiao Suner stood in front of the window and muttered to herself. Chapter 11. The red sun rose, its light illuminating the earth. Chu Bei opened the door after waking up. Because the house was at the end of the street, the number of people passing by could be counted on 2 hands. Among them, 3 or 4 people entered the house out of curiosity after seeing the signboard of All Heaven's shop. But when they found that it was an ordinary residence, they left after mocking Chu Bei. Isn't that the head of the Xiao family in Xiaoyan? Where are they going so early in the morning? Follow them. On the streets of Ani, Xiao Zhan and Xiao Yin led a small number of guards toward All Heaven's shop. Gradually, more and more people followed behind them. All Heaven's shop? Is this their destination? Why don't we go in and take a look? Let's see what they're selling. I went in when I passed by earlier. Although it has a signboard, it's just an ordinary residence. Xiao Zhan and the others stopped in front of the house. Little friend Xiao, you've come so early in the morning? You're more proactive than I thought. Hearing the commotion, Chu Bei walked out of the house. After seeing that it was Xiao Yan's group, the corner of Chu Bei's mouth rose. Did you bring enough money? Of course. Xiao Yan replied and walked into the house. Xiao Zhan and Xiao Sun followed closely behind. As for the guards, they stayed outside the house. Little friend Xiao, what kind of roulette do you want to spin today? Chu Bei asked with a smile. Of course it's to improve my strength. Xiao Yin took out 3 jade boxes, each containing a dark green pill. These are the 3 Qi-gathering elixirs that Nailin Yinran gave me yesterday. How many times can I spin the 2nd-level lucky roulette? As Xiao Yin asked, Xiao Suner looked at Chu Bei seriously, a golden flame flashing in her eyes. Strange. How can this be? Xiao Suner frowned slightly. She attempted to probe the Do Qi ripples on Chu Bei's body. However, the strange thing was that there was an unknown energy ripple on the other party's body that blocked her probing. 3 Qi-gathering elixirs can spin 3 sets of level 2 lucky roulette wheels, Chu Bei answered. This was the system's assessment. Boss Chu, if that's the case, let's begin. Xiao Yan's face was filled with anticipation. Chu Bei nodded and waved his right hand. Buzz! The void trembled, and a ripple appeared. A golden disc with a diameter of 1 meter emerged from the ripples, emitting a dazzling light. Level 2 Wheel of Fortune. These words were especially eye-catching. Xiao Zhan and Xiao Yan's expressions didn't change at all as they looked at the floating golden disc. On the other hand, Xiao Suner, who was seeing him for the first time, narrowed her eyes, and a hint of astonishment appeared on her delicate face. The system has received 3,000 willpower. The system has returned 1,500 willpower to the host. As the whirlpool in the center of the roulette wheel swallowed the 3 chi-gathering elixirs, the system's voice sounded in Chu Bei's mind. At the same time, the needle spun. 1 set of 10 times, 3 sets of 30 times. A few seconds later, 30 exquisite square boxes floated in front of Xiao Yin in an orderly manner. Bang! A dazzling light bloomed, and the 30 boxes exploded at the same time. 20 of them were thanks for your patronage. 3 level 2 demon cores, 5 herbs, and 2 dojo elixirs. I got 2, not bad. Xiao Yan's gaze instantly focused on the 2 green elixirs. To him, the most useful elixirs were the dojo elixirs. As for the level 2 demon cores and spirit herbs, they would all be sent to the auction house. Xiao Yin took the 2 dojo elixirs and threw them into his mouth without hesitation. Then, he closed his eyes. The do-chi fluctuation is getting stronger. The elixir's effect is so fast. Sensing Xiao Yan's energy fluctuation, Xiao Suner's face was filled with disbelief. Boom! At this moment, a thunderous sound rang out from the sky outside the house. Then, the people outside the house who had yet to leave started to clamor. Chu Bei, Xiao Zhan, Xiao Yin, and Xiao Suner came to the door and raised their heads. They saw a masked black figure floating in the sky. Do-chi wings. A warrior above the king level. I can't believe I saw such a legendary warrior. I have no regrets in my life. The group of people stared at the masked black figure in the sky. Their faces were filled with excitement. Obviously, this would be something they could brag about in the future. Why would such a powerful warrior appear in our small Wu-Tan city? Xiao Zhan frowned and his face turned ugly. Could it be an elder from the Yunlan sect who came to take revenge? Otherwise, why would he be masked? Xiao Yin clenched his fists. Xiao Yin, Gij, Nailin Yinran, and her group probably haven't returned to the Yunlan sect yet. Therefore, he can't be someone from the Yunlan sect. Xiao Suner said. Unlike the others, Xiao Suner's expression didn't change when she saw the masked black figure. Shio! The sound of something breaking through the air rang out. The masked black figure dove down. The do-chi around him was like a wind blade, cutting through the air. Not good. He's coming towards us. Run! Seeing the black figure descend from the sky, the group of people was stunned at first, then fear appeared on their faces. Amidst the screams, they scattered. They looked back from time to time. Furious lion's rage. Xiao Zhan shouted. A light green do-chi covered his entire body, and an illusory lion's head appeared on his face. Xiao Yan's muscles tensed. He gathered all his do-chi on his right fist, ready to fight to the death. In their opinion, if a king or emperor wanted their lives, the result would be the same whether they ran or not. The black figure's speed was very fast. In the blink of an eye, he was less than 10 meters away from the ground. Chi chi chi. The black figure folded his do-chi wings and clenched his right fist. A purple ball of light formed on the surface of his fist. His target is Boss Chu. Seeing the black figure getting closer and closer, Xiao Yin and Xiao Zhan finally confirmed the black figure's target. F***. Why is it me? Chu Bei was dumbfounded. Although he had lived in the Do-Chi continent for 100 years, because the system was always active, he didn't have anyone to rely on and lived a very low-key life. He didn't even have a single enemy of the Do-Chi realm, let alone a king Do-Chi realm. The black figure's punch didn't seem to cause much of a commotion, but the purple ball of light contained a violent energy. Even a Douling's body would explode from the punch, let alone Xiao Zhan. Chu Bei didn't even think and immediately called out the celestial space. However, just as Chu Bei was about to hide in the celestial space to avoid the black figure's punch, a shadow flashed. A black figure flashed across the room. The black figure stopped in front of Chu Bei. It slowly raised its mechanical arm. It faced the black figure's terrifying punch. Crack! There wasn't a huge shockwave from the collision as expected. There was only the crisp sound of bones shattering. At the moment of collision, the purple ball of light on the black figure's fist was annihilated. Then, the black figure's arm shattered inch by inch. Boom! With a scream, The black figure flew out like a cannonball and crashed through a house. Miss Sonaire, your face doesn't look right. As the protagonist who was familiar with the script, Chu Bei quickly thought of a possibility regarding the masked man. No, it's nothing. I was just scared by it. Xiao Suner hurriedly replied, worry flashing through her eyes. Chu Bei smiled but didn't say anything. After probing, he had an answer in his heart. Xiao Zhan hesitated for a moment, then stepped forward. Boss Chu, what is your realm? Just as Xiao Zhan asked this question, Xiao Yin and Xiao Suner both stared at Wu Fong with anticipation. You'll know once you spin more and more. Chu Bei pretended to be mysterious and then looked at Xiao Yin. Do you want a few more? If you don't have the money, then I'll have to find another buyer. Of course. Xiao Yin couldn't wait to answer. Ever since Xiao Yin had broken through to a 2-star doge the previous day, Xiao Zhan had been counting the clan's assets and took out 1 million gold coins. Unfortunately, after spinning 7 sets, which was 700,000 gold coins, the system's voice sounded in Chu Bei's mind. The system has received 7,000 willpower. The system has returned 3,500 willpower to the host. Based on the host's cultivation, the host has reached the upper limit of gold coins sold today, compared to the previous day's limit of 400,000 gold coins. Because Chu Bei's cultivation had reached 6 Duan Qi, the upper limit had increased to 1 million gold coins. 7 sets, 70 boxes. Among them, 45 were, thank you for your patronage, 8 were level 2 demon cores, 12 herbs, 4 warrior pills, and 1 revolving condensing pill. Boss Chu, I'll see you tomorrow. If you have time, remember to visit my Xiao family. After swallowing the 4 warrior pills, Xiao Yan's cultivation jumped to 8-star warrior. I won't see you out. Chu Bei waved his hand. After Xiao Yan and the others left, they went straight to Wutan City's biggest auction house, Primer Auction House. As for the people in front of the shop, after hesitating for a long time, they waved goodbye to Chu Bei and left one after another. After the shop was quiet, Chu Bei looked at the 5180 willpower on the screen. After a bit of hesitation, he used all of it to upgrade his cultivation. After deducting 900 willpower, Chu Bei's cultivation rose from 6 Duan Qi to 9 Duan Qi. After deducting another 1,000 willpower, Chu Bei condensed a cyclone in his body and stepped into the warrior realm. Unlike the Duan Qi stage, the warrior realm required 1,000 willpower to advance by 1 star. Host has successfully upgraded his cultivation. 4-star warrior realm deducting 4,900 willpower. So this is inner sight? Interesting. Chu Bei muttered. The difference between warrior realm and Duan Qi is that other than condensing a cyclone, one can also use inner sight. Simply put, it allows one to know their own body's condition more clearly. 3 hours later. Xiao Mansion. Why isn't he back yet? Xiao Suner stood alone in front of the window, her hair swaying in the wind. Her face was full of anxiety and worry. Xiao. At this moment, the sound of something breaking through the air could be heard and a figure rushed into the room. Hearing the sound, Xiao Suner's worry turned into joy. But when she turned around and saw Ling Ying's appearance, her joy disappeared in an instant and turned into guilt and regret. At this moment, Ling Ying's face was extremely pale without a trace of blood. His right arm was nowhere to be seen and was wrapped in thick white gauze. His entire body emitted a rich pill fragrance. Elderling, are you okay? It's all my fault. If I didn't let you test him, you wouldn't have become like this. Xiao Suner stepped forward to support Ling Ying, tears in her eyes. Miss, it's not your fault. Who would have thought that he would be so terrifying? Ling Ying's face didn't have the slightest bit of hatred, and I've already taken the energy recovery pill. My life is saved. Elderling, can you determine the strength of the thing that injured you? Xiao Suner wiped away her tears and bit her lips. It didn't have any Duan Qi fluctuation. It was just like an ordinary punch. Ling Ying shook his head. I feel that it hasn't used its full strength yet. Otherwise, I'm afraid that I would have been turned into a pile of minced meat. It hasn't used its full strength yet? Xiao Suner's face changed greatly. Miss, let's not test that person. With his strength, if he really wants to make a move on Xiao Yan, I'm afraid that no one in the entire Kama Empire can stop him. Ling Ying said. Yes. Xiao sooner nodded. Chapter 13. The next day, early morning. As soon as Chu Bei opened the door, he sensed the strangeness of the street. Today's street was not as lively as it should have been. It was unusually desolate. As far as the eye could see, the shops that were usually filled with people were all hastily closing their doors. The pedestrians on the street had a panicked expression, as if they were afraid of something. Among them, there were also people like Chu Bei who didn't know anything. They were anxiously asking questions. What's wrong with all of you? Why are you in such a panic? Hurry up and go home. Something big has happened. All the Xiao family's markets have people poisoned. What's even more frightening is that this poison can be transmitted to other people. Moreover, the mortality rate is not low. The first person who was poisoned was discovered in the early morning. In just a few hours, 9 people have already died. The others who were poisoned are also dying. As far as I know, these people who were poisoned first had a black mark between their eyebrows, followed by shortness of breath, followed by weakness in their entire body. They could only lie paralyzed on the bed, dying. Due to the strong contagion, not only the Xiao family, many people who went to the market were also poisoned. For safety reasons, all the Xiao family's markets have been sealed. No one is allowed to go near them. Don't talk about it. Hurry up and go home to hide. At this juncture, every moment you stay outside increases the risk of being infected. When Chu Bei heard the hurried words on the street, he understood the reason behind it. On the other side, Xiao family, meeting hall. At this moment, there were no empty seats in the hall. In the main seats were naturally Xiao Zhan and the 3 elders. In the other seats, most of them were the older generation of the Xiao family. Some of the talented younger generation were also among them, including Xiao Yin. Damn it, this must be the work of the other 2 families. Otherwise, why would all the markets be our Xiao families? Without exception, Ao Ba Pa isn't that ambitious. It's more likely to be Jiao Lai Bai. There's no need to guess. This poison must be his doing. A few years ago, he showed that he wanted to take over our Xiao family's market. Especially in recent days, he has been visiting us frequently to express his intentions. I just didn't expect him to use such despicable methods. How despicable? Patriarch, let's go to Jiao Lai Mansion to get the antidote. Xiao family members in the main hall were furious and clenched their fists. If it was really Jiao Lai Bai who did it, do you think he would admit it? Will they give us the antidote? Xiao Zhan asked with a solemn expression. What's the situation in the market? All the markets have been closed. All the poisoned people have been quarantined, the 3rd elder replied. What about the residents? Xiao Zhan asked. Especially the family members of those poisoned people. They started to denounce our Xiao family and even threatened to kick our Xiao family out of Wutan City. 3rd elder's face was incomparably ugly. Our top priority now is to detoxify these poisoned people and prevent them from infecting more people. If the situation continues to develop, I'm afraid Wutan City really won't be able to accommodate our Xiao family. The 2nd elder looked at Xiao Zhan and continued. I have already invited a physician from the House of Medicine in Qingshan Town. Physician? The 1st elder frowned. Physicians, in terms of status, were far inferior to alchemists because they were unable to truly refine pills. They could only use some ordinary flames to mix medicinal ingredients together to achieve the effect of treating people. However, there were also a few physicians with more experience who were respected by the people and had extremely high status. Where is he? Quickly invite him in. Xiao Zhan looked at the 2nd elder and immediately said. Just as Xiao Zhan's voice fell, a woman wearing a white dress walked into the hall. The woman wore a light white dress. Although her appearance couldn't be considered stunning, it was still a rare beauty. The faint smile on her face exuded a fresh and ethereal temperament. This unique temperament greatly increased her charm. The physician's 2nd elder invited is actually a woman. I think I've seen her somewhere before. Little Doctor. She's the Little Doctor. In Qingshan Town, her reputation isn't small. More than half of the mercenaries there have been treated by her. So it's her. I've also heard of her. In all of Qingshan Town, Who knows how many people like her? Every time they go to the Magic Beast Mountain range to gather medicinal ingredients, if the little doctor goes with them, those mercenary groups will lower the price to the lowest. Moreover, for the remaining spots, there are often fights. If that's the case, then those poison people can be saved. My Xiao family's crisis can also be resolved. The eyes of the people in the hall were instantly attracted by the woman in the white dress, especially those of the younger generation. Their faces were filled with adoration. Greetings to the head of the Xiao family. The little doctor bowed slightly to Xiao Zhan. Fairy doctor, please take a seat. Xiao Zhan was incomparably courteous. I wonder if the fairy doctor has any understanding of this poison? The little doctor shook her head. I'll have to go take a look to find out. All right, I'll take you there now. Xiao Zhan replied. Jialong Island Expressway Estate, one of the three great clans of Wu-Tan City. In a luxurious hall, a tall, middle-aged man sat on a sandalwood chair, holding an exquisite teacup in his hand and smiling. Behind him stood a luxuriously dressed young man, who was massaging his shoulders. The youth was about 20 years old. Although his appearance was acceptable, his complexion was somewhat pale. It was clear that he had been on the battlefield for a long time. In addition, there were 8 other people in the hall. They were all people of status in the Jialong Island Expressway Estate. With this poisoning incident, I'm afraid that all of Wu-Tan City's residents will avoid the Xiao family market. Haha, especially those infected residents and their relatives. They will hate the Xiao family to the bone. It won't be long before the Xiao family no longer has a place in Wu-Tan City. Their market will also belong to us. In the hall, everyone laughed heartily. Jia Lai Ao, how is the Xiao family? Jia Lai Bai put down the teacup in his hand and looked at the youth behind him, replying, Father, the Xiao family market has been completely closed. The relatives of the poisoned residents are currently surrounding the Xiao estate, demanding an explanation. Jia Lai Ao immediately replied, his face filled with joy. Truly wonderful. Jia Lai Ao nodded his head in satisfaction. He then looked at a skinny man not far away. This time, the one we have to thank the most is Brother Liu. If it weren't for you researching a contagious poison, the Xiao family wouldn't have fallen into such a predicament. Saying this, Jia Lai Ao switched to a cup of strong wine. Brother Liu, I'll toast you. Brother Jia, it's my honor to be able to serve you. Liu Shi replied with a cup of wine. But Brother Jia, don't forget what you promised me. Of course. 3 days. At most 3 days, I'll send Xiao sooner to your room. Jia Lai Ao laughed. That's great. Liu Shi licked his lips. His expression was as if he was already fantasizing about a happy life. Chapter 14. Xiao Family, Marketplace Number 1. The marketplace, which was usually bustling with people, had its entrance closed and was surrounded by rows of fences. Outside the fences, there were dozens of men wearing the Xiao family's uniform. They held long swords in their hands and had serious expressions. The leader was a robust man around 30 years old. On his chest was a badge with 6 golden stars, signifying that he was a 6-star doja. Xiao Zhan, give us an explanation. How is my husband now? Did you guys make this poison? Why do you want to harm us? These past few years, we have done business at your marketplace no less than 100 times. You are all devoid of conscience. Get out of Wu-Tan City. Nearly 100 people surrounded the fences and clamored. Among them, there was no lack of people who had been bribed and had bad intentions. Everyone, Xiao Zhan, will definitely give you an explanation. But for now, I hope that you can give me some time. Xiao Zhan walked out of the marketplace and glanced at the crowd of residents as he spoke. Oh, Brother Xiao seems to have encountered a problem. At this moment, a group of people walked over from afar, and a voice filled with laughter could be heard. The leader of this group was Jia Lai Bai. Brother Xiao, the weather is unpredictable. I hope that you will be able to overcome this crisis. Almost at the same time, another group of people walked over. It was the Ao Ba Pa family, one of the 3 great clans. I only want to know if you have a way to cure the poison. A woman questioned Xiao Zhan. Xiao Zhan's gaze swept across Jia Lai Bai and Ao Ba Pa before looking at the woman and saying, We have already invited the little doctor from Qingshan Town's Thousand Medicine House. She is currently treating the poison. After saying this, Xiao Zhan coldly glanced at Jiao Lai Bai and coldly snorted before walking back into the marketplace. Jiao Lai Bai's expression slightly changed, and he immediately looked at Lu Shi, who was beside him. Patriarch, rest assured. With my life on the line, a mere doctor will definitely not be able to cure my poison. Lu Shi was incomparably confident. Hearing Lu Shi's words, Jiao Lai Bai's expression relaxed. He then looked at Xiao Zhan's back and laughed. Brother Xiao, then I wish you good luck. Let's go. Jiao Lai Bai waved his hand and returned home. Miss Little Doctor, how is it? Is there a way? Xiao Zhan's voice was filled with anxiety. After a long while, the fairy doctor stood up from one of the beds and shook her head at Xiao Zhan. Her face was full of regret. Xiao family head, I've never come into contact with this poison before. My abilities are limited. I'm sorry. The little doctor bit her lips and bowed to Xiao Zhan. How could this be? Hearing this, the faces of the Xiao family members immediately darkened and turned extremely ugly. Then what should we do now? If we can't give an explanation to those people outside, I'm afraid the Xiao family will really become the target of public criticism in Wutan City. First Elder clenched his fist. Xiao Zhan fell into silence and frowned. Father, you seem to have forgotten a person. Perhaps he can help us. At this moment, Xiao Yin by the side spoke. With Xiao Yan's reminder, Xiao Zhan seemed to have found a life-saving straw. Yin, hurry. Hurry up and ask for help from Boss Chu. This is my storage ring. As long as it can cure the poison, I'll pay any price. Xiao Zhan hurriedly said. Xiao Yin nodded, took the storage ring and quickly left. Xiao Yin Gij, I'll go with you. Xiao Suner quickly followed. Half an hour later. Boss Chu help? Xiao Yin was still 100 meters away from the celestial shop, but he was already shouting at the top of his lungs. You're here. Chu Bei walked out of the house and responded calmly. He then walked back into the house. Soon, Xiao Yin and Xiao Suner also entered the house. When they saw the iron lump robot in the corner again, their faces were filled with dread. Today, you're still going to change the plate to improve your strength? Chu Bei smiled and looked at Xiao Yin. Xiao Yin shook his head without hesitation. Boss Chu, my Xiao family is in danger. In the wee hours of the morning, all the workers in the major markets belonging to my Xiao family were poisoned by a very strange poison. The scary thing is that this poison is contagious. Many residents have already been infected. I've heard about this. So you're looking for a way to cure the poison? Before Xiao Yin could finish, Chu Bei waved his hand and interrupted him. Boss Chu, do you have a way? Xiao Yin couldn't wait to ask. Chu Bei smiled knowingly. With me, as long as you have money, there's nothing you can't do. As soon as he finished speaking, Chu Bei waved his right hand. The void trembled, and a ripple appeared. A golden disc emerged from the ripples. Level 3 Wheel of Fortune. The words emitted a dazzling light. This is the medical series wheel I chose for you. There's what you want here. Chu Bei pointed at the 10 square boxes on the wheel and looked at Xiao Yin with a smile. Level 3? It can't be 100,000 gold coins per turn, right? Xiao Yin asked tentatively. The level 1 wheel was 1,000 gold coins, and the level 2 wheel was 10,000 gold coins. That was why he guessed that it was 100,000 gold coins. Little friend Xiao is a smart person. Chu Bei's eyes were filled with praise. Hiss, even though he was mentally prepared. After hearing Chu Bei's confirmation, Xiao Yin couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. However, when he thought about the value of the goods he could get from it, Xiao Yin quickly felt relieved. At least, he had never lost money before. Looking at the level 3 wheel in front of him, Xiao Yin calmed himself down and took out 1,000,000 gold coins from the storage ring. In the market, whether it was the poisoned Xiao family members, the stall owners, or the buyers, they were all lying on their beds in pain. The more serious ones had a black mark between their eyebrows, their faces were extremely pale, and they were on the verge of death. The less serious ones were short of breath, their faces were hot, and they coughed incessantly. When they saw Xiao Zhan and the little doctor return, the group of poisoned people cried out one after another, their eyes filled with pleading. Everyone, don't worry, you will all be fine soon. Xiao Yan's face was filled with confidence as he poured the tea medicament into a vat of clear water. Soon, the clear water was dyed a light blue. Feed them. After confirming with Xiao Yin and Chu Bei, Xiao Zhan gave the order. Under the questioning gaze of the little doctor, all the poisoned people successively drank the diluted tea medicament antidote water. Half an hour later. Much better. Much better. The less serious ones were the first to notice the changes in their bodies, and they were all extremely excited. Their breathing became stable, their body temperature returned to normal, and their coughing disappeared as if nothing had happened. The more serious ones' pale faces regained their color, and their eyebrows returned to normal. Their breathing became stable, and they regained their strength. Thank you, clan leader, Xiao family leader, for saving our lives. More and more poisoned people got up from their beds and walked to Xiao Zhan's side, kneeling down with a plop. Chapter 16. In order to seize the Xiao family's market, the Jialai clan did not care about the safety of the people and mixed a contagious poison into the Xiao family's market. Side mission activated. Host exterminates the Jialai clan. Mission completion reward. 10,000 willpower. Weapon host can use. Enhanced unlimited automatic grenade launcher. Once mission is completed, the weapon will automatically disappear. Suddenly, the system's voice sounded in Chu Bei's mind. Almost at the same time, a large object appeared in the heaven space. It was the grenade launcher given by the system. Chu Bei was surprised by this side mission at first, but he quickly regained his composure. As long as the reward from the system was generous, even if the system asked him to kill a good person, he would not hesitate to accept the mission, let alone the Jialai clan that committed such a heinous crime. In these 100 years, he had already comprehended the way of survival. Everyone, the one you should really thank is Boss Chu. The antidote was provided by him. Xiao Zhan hurriedly opened his mouth. Following Xiao Zhan's words, all the poisoned people's gazes focused on Chu Bei. Thank you, Boss Chu, for saving our lives. Everyone's gazes were filled with gratitude and confusion. It was obvious that they were very curious about Chu Bei's background. Although this antidote was made by me, I am a businessman. They paid for it. Chu Bei indicated that there was no need to thank him and said, as for the person who poisoned the antidote, it has nothing to do with the Xiao family. It originated from the Jialai clan. It really is them. Hearing Chu Bei's words, Xiao Zhan, the first elder, the second elder, and the others' faces were filled with hatred. You should send the rest of the antidote to the other markets first. Xiao Zhan forcefully suppressed his anger. The most important thing right now was to treat all the poisoned people. It can actually cure the poison. Little doctor muttered to herself with an expression of disbelief. Only when she recovered from her shock did she quickly take out a container and scooped out some of the antidote. Xiao family head, I want to take some back and study it. Of course, Xiao Zhan replied. Xiao Yin seemed to have thought of something and immediately took out the compendium of materia medica from his storage ring. Miss Fairy Doctor, you can take this book back and study it. You should be interested. Little doctor took the compendium of materia medica in a daze, but when she turned to the first page, her eyes lit up instantly. Thank you. The little doctor was extremely excited. Look, they're out. When the residents outside the fence saw the poisoned people pouring out of the market, they first cried out in alarm, then retreated one after another, maintaining their distance. Everyone, their poison has been cured. They won't infect you anymore. As Xiao Zhan's voice rang out, the family members of the victims, led by the woman, rushed forward. 2 hours later, Jialai Mansion. Bang! Jialai Bai slammed his palm on the table, instantly turning it into a pile of debris. Brother Liu, didn't you say that this is a newly developed poison that no one in the Kama Empire can cure? Then what's going on now? Jialai Bai looked at Liu Shi and questioned in a cold voice. Was it Qingshan Town's little doctor who cured the poison? Liu Shi avoided Jialai Bai's gaze and asked the guard who came to report. It wasn't little doctor, it was someone called Boss Chu. He was the one who sold the antidote to the Xiao family. The guard immediately replied, Boss Chu? Brother Jia, do you know this person's background? Lu Shi looked at Jia Lai Bai. I've never heard of such a name. Jia Lai Bai shook his head and coldly snorted. No matter who he is, I will make him pay a heavy price. Father, the residents of the city now know that we poisoned them and have all gathered outside the mansion. What should we do? Jia Lai Ao's face was filled with anxiety. They don't have any evidence. Jia Lai Bai's face darkened. First capture a few and give them a good beating. When the others see, they won't dare to act rashly. Yes, Patriarch. The guard left. Xiao Mansion, main hall. Patriarch, Jia Lai Bai's methods are becoming more and more despicable. This time, if it wasn't for Boss Chu's antidote, our Xiao family wouldn't even have a foothold in Wutan City. The second elder clenched his fists. If we still don't respond, I'm afraid he will really think that our Xiao family is a soft persimmon. Since it's like this, then let's wait for night to fall. Let's catch them off guard. And this battlefield will be their Jia Lai mansion. Xiao Zhan's eyes narrowed, revealing a murderous aura. Father, what's the specific time? Xiao Yan asked. Su sure. Xiao Zhan glanced at Xiao Yan and then swept his gaze over the three elders. Go gather all the doja and above in the family. Yes. The three elders left one after the other. Shen sure. A cold wind blew, and the originally scorching sun in the sky suddenly dimmed. Following the first rumbling sound in the sky, black clouds floated in from the east. Kacha! Lightning flashed, bringing with it a loud sound. The dark sky lit up with white light. Drip, drip. The black clouds became denser and denser. Raindrops finally fell, making a crisp sound. The streets of Wutan City gradually became empty and the shops closed one after another. Shinshur. Night had completely fallen. Kacha! Kacha! In the distant sky, lightning flashed with streaks of white light, as if they were waving sharp swords. Thunder rumbled in the air, as if drums were being beaten in the air. The raindrops the size of soybeans fell faster and faster. Against the backdrop of the lightning, it was as if gods and demons were dancing chaotically. Thousands of threads spread out from the black clouds that could no longer be seen, and gradually, the sky and the earth were sewn together. In front of the celestial shop, Chu Bei held an umbrella in one hand and an enhanced version of a grenade launcher in the other. Rainy night, night to kill. Looking at the rain that was like a row of arrows shooting towards the ground, Chu Bei flapped his wings. Xiu. With a sound of breaking air, he flew towards the Jia Lai mansion. On the other side, Xiao Mansion. In the huge arena, hundreds of people were lined up in an orderly manner. These people were the elites of the Xiao family. Even the weakest person was a doja. Each of them held a weapon in their hands. Everyone, in today's battle, we can only win and not lose. Xiao Zhan stood on the high platform. His gaze swept across the crowd and his voice was loud and clear. Destroy the Jia Lai family. Everyone shouted in unison. Let's go. Xiao Zhan jumped down from the high platform and stood at the front of the 100 people. Behind him were the three elders, Xiao Yin and Xiao Suner. Ta-ta-ta. The mighty army of the Xiao family headed towards the Jia mansion. Torrential rain poured down, lightning flashed and thunder roared. The silver lightning was like a dragon roaring in the sky. From time to time, sparks would appear in the sky. At this moment, Chu Bei had already retracted his wings and descended from the sky. He landed in front of the Jia Lai mansion's tightly shut door with a grave and stern expression. His slightly wet clothes clung to his body. Coupled with the grenade launcher in his hand, he gave off an indescribable sense of majesty. Chapter 17. In front of the main gate of the Jia Lai mansion, a pair of black iron stone lions stood majestically on both sides. Their manes fluttered in the wind, and their hair was like steel needles. Their eyes were glaring angrily as they looked forward. Below their feet was a flying goose. In their mouths was a dragon pearl. Their eyes were completely red, as if there were two balls of fire burning inside. At first glance, they were sharp, domineering, and majestic. Unfortunately, they will no longer exist. Chu Bei looked at the black iron stone lions, shook his head and sighed. The reason why he did not directly fly into the mansion was because he was worried that he would miss the guards in front of the gate. Who are you? Don't tell me you are also here to cause trouble? I'm afraid you did not see how badly we beat those guys during the day. Looking at his appearance, he did not come with good intentions. Take him down and hand him over to the patriarch. In front of the main gate, the 4 guards of the Jialai mansion sized up Chu Bei. At the same time, they pulled out their swords with a fierce expression. Chu Bei was expressionless. His gaze swept across the 4 guards who were walking towards him, and then he set up the grenade launcher. The muzzle was aimed. The trigger was pulled. Boom! Accompanied by a dazzling light, an earth-shattering sound rang out. In the next moment, a mournful scream rang out. The 4 guards were sent flying, their flesh and blood badly mutilated. The main gate exploded, and the 2 majestic stone lions on both sides of the gate shattered into pieces. Only a red lantern was left hanging on the edge of the gate. However, under the impact of the rain, it was on the verge of collapse, revealing a feeling of being swayed by the wind and rain. What was that sound just now? What happened? In the Jialai mansion, everyone including Jialai Bai, Jialai Ao, and Lu Shi were alarmed by the loud sound. They all walked out of their houses. Ta-da-da-ta. In the midst of the hurried footsteps, more and more Jialai clansmen and guards walked towards the main gate. Each of their faces were filled with vigilance. Who are you? How dare you break into the Jialai mansion at night? Do you not want to live anymore? The group of guards closest to the main gate was the first to discover Chu Bei. Looking at the shattered main gate, a trace of fear flashed through their eyes. After recovering from their shock, they all aimed their spears at Chu Bei. The tip of the spear was pointed at Chu Bei's head. Chu Bei glanced at the guards around him. His expression didn't change at all as he continued to walk along the main road. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. With the torrential rain pouring down, every step Chu Bei took would cause a splash of water. This wave of guards followed closely behind, but no one dared to make the first move. Not long after, Chu Bei met the assembled Jialai mansion's army, led by Jialai Bai. Who are you? Do you know where this is? Jialai Bai stopped and coldly stared at Chu Bei as he shouted. Master, he's Boss Chu. One of the guards recognized Chu Bei and quickly said, So you're the one who ruined my plans. Hearing the guard's words, killing intent emerged on the faces of Jialai Bai, Lu Shi, and the others. Especially Jialai Bai, who clenched his fists so tightly that his veins bulged. The battle for the market is supposed to be a fair competition for the market. But you guys are extremely despicable, using unscrupulous means to poison a Shao family in the market. Moreover, this poison is contagious, harming innocent residents. Chu Bei's gaze swept across Jialai Bai, Lu Shi, and the others, his face expressionless. Kill him. Jialai Bai's face was filled with disgust as he looked at Chu Bei. He waved his hand and gave the order to the guards around him. Pacha! In the dark sky, a thick bolt of lightning once again streaked across, splitting the night sky into 2 halves. The devastating thunderstorm rolled up a few broken leaves on the streets of Changxiang, bringing with it a cold, killing intent. Master, what's going on? Could it be that the residents did it during the day? Impossible. There are at least 100 doja in the Jialai mansion. How could they let a bunch of residents destroy the main gate? The guards in front of the gate seem to have died not long ago, but what kind of weapon could make them so badly mutilated, as if they were charred? In front of the Jialai mansion, a group of Shao clansmen rushed over with faces full of astonishment as they looked at the shattered stone lion and the 4 tragic corpses. Bang! Bang! At this moment, 2 loud sounds came from within the mansion. Hearing this, Xiao Zhan's eyes narrowed. I'm afraid that the person who destroyed the main gate of the Jialai mansion is still inside. Let's kill our way in. No matter who it is, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, the great elder said. Then, the Shao mansion's army aggressively rushed into the Jialai mansion, their battle intent high. However, when they reached the depths of the mansion, everyone, including Xiao Zhan and Xiao Yin, stopped in their tracks. When they saw the scene in front of them clearly, each of them gulped subconsciously, their eyes filled with disbelief. The ground, which should have been flat, had several deep pits. Smoke was rising from each of the pits, and the rainwater in the surroundings had all evaporated. There were only dark red bloodstains, mangled flesh and bones, scattered limbs, and shattered weapons. There were even some corpses that were completely charred black, as if they had been roasted in a fire, extremely terrifying. Chu, Boss Chu, how could it be him? Chapter 18. Who would have thought that the person who wanted to kill me was actually a Do Zong? I am but a small tier 1 alchemist. How could I be worthy? When he saw Chu Bei flying high in the sky, Lu Shi immediately stopped running and laughed like a madman. Boom, boom, boom. Following Chu Bei's pull of the trigger, another 3 earth-shattering sounds rang out. In the blinding white light, Lu Shi, Jialai Ao, and the remaining guards turned into nothingness. Clanhead, it seems that there is nothing left for us to do here. The third elder scanned his surroundings and found that there were no more Jialai mansion guards alive. Host has exterminated the Jialai clan. Mission completed. Reward 10,000 willpower. At the same time, the system sound rang out. The enhanced version of the grenade launcher in Chu Bei's hand turned into a rain of light and disappeared. Shao family head, I will leave the rest of the cleanup to you. You should also take over the Jialai Mansion's market. As for the public announcement, just say that you did it, Chu Bei said indifferently as he descended from the sky and landed in front of Xiao Zhan. Okay, Xiao Zhan was startled at first, but after regaining his senses, he immediately nodded in response, unable to hide his excitement. Boss Chu, was that thing you used a howitzer? Can you take it out and let me take a closer look? Xiao Yin probed. Hearing Xiao Yan's unfamiliar words, Xiao Sooner, Xiao Zhan, and the rest were at a loss. It is as you think, but it is an enhanced version. Seeing that Xiao Yin wanted to say something but stopped, Chu Bei continued. It is waiting for you at the level 4 Wheel of Fortune. With a smile on his face, Chu Bei soared into the sky and flew towards the All Heavens shop. We actually made friends with a Dozong. This is the Xiao family's fortune. Looking at Chu Bei's gradually disappearing figure, Xiao Zhan let out a long sigh. Xiao Yin Gij, how much do you know about him? Just tell me what you know. Xiao Sooner tugged at Xiao Yan's arm and acted like a spoiled child. Sunair, as you can see, he is a businessman, an omnipotent businessman. Xiao Yin patted Xiao Sooner's head and did not say much. As soon as Chu Bei returned to the All Heavens shop, his attention fell on the system's light screen. During the day, he had earned 2 million gold coins and received 10,000 willpower points. As a reward from the system quest, he received another 10,000 willpower points. Currently, he had a total of 20,280 willpower. Chu Bei did not hesitate and used all of it to exchange for his cultivation. After deducting 5,000 willpower, Chu Bei's cultivation rose from 4-star fighter to 9 stars fighter, following which, another 5,000 will points were deducted. The cyclone within Chu Bei's body melted into a liquid state, and he stepped into the realm of Master Combat. Unlike the Fighter realm, the Fighter Master realm required 5,000 willpower to advance by 1 star. The host has successfully converted his cultivation base. 3 stars Fighter Master Realm 20000 willpower points deducted. Feeling his body brimming with energy, Chu Bei waved his robe and a thin layer of purple gauze appeared on his body. Doqi gauze, the symbol of a fighter master. As the Xiao family's poison crisis was resolved, Wutan City regained its liveliness. But today, all the streets and taverns in the city were intensely discussing the Jialai Mansion. Have you heard? The Jialai Mansion was exterminated. Of course I know. I was just passing by the Jialai Mansion, but I was surrounded and turned into Xiao Mansion's guards. It must have been done last night. Jialai Bai used poison and almost brought disaster to the entire Wutan City. This kind of person deserves to die. That's right. What the Xiao Mansion did was very satisfying. Hee. According to my insider information, the Xiao Mansion was just a replacement. The one who exterminated the Jialai Mansion was someone else. Is that true? Quickly tell us. If it involves a fighter master, I don't dare to say. I don't dare to say. At this moment, a woman wearing a white dress was quietly standing in front of Celestial's shop. The door opened. Little doctor? Recognizing the woman in the white dress, Chu Bei's face showed surprise. If he opened the door and saw Xiao Yin or Xiao sooner, that would be within his expectations. But to his surprise, it was actually the little doctor. Boss Chu, I went back and studied the diluted antidote you gave me last night, but I still couldn't figure it out. The little doctor pursed her lips and stared at Chu Bei. Do you have the method to make that antidote? I can buy it with money. I do, but if you want to get it, I'm afraid you'll have to spend at least 1,000,000 gold coins. Chu Bei said after a moment of silence. Although the little doctor's appearance couldn't be considered stunning, she was still a rare beauty. This was especially true for her refreshing and ethereal temperament, which greatly increased her charm. 1,000,000 gold coins. Hearing this number, the little doctor's eyes widened. After a long time, Boss Chu, I don't have that much money. Sorry to bother you. The little doctor kneaded her skirt, her voice soft. Don't go yet. I'm lacking a cook. Just as the little doctor turned around, Chu Bei said, if you really want to get the method to make the tea antidote, then help me with my daily chores. As for your living quarters, you can sleep on the second floor. If I'm satisfied, I'll give it to you. That's great. Thank you, Boss Chu. The little doctor was stunned at first, but then her face filled with joy. Move in today, Chu Bei said. He promised that he didn't have any ulterior motives. It was purely because he was worried that the little doctor's woeful poison body would break out. If something happened under his watch, he might be able to help. On the other side, Primer Auction House. Wu-Tan City's largest auction house belonged to the Kama Empire's wealthiest family, the Primer family. In a spacious room that was decorated with gold and jade, a white-haired old man in green robes was examining several stalks of medicinal herbs. On his chest, there was a medicine furnace. On the surface of the medicine furnace, there were 2 ripples that flickered with silver light. Gu and I, Primer Auction House's second-grade alchemist. Master Gu and I, how is the appraisal? At this time, a beautiful woman wearing a red dress walked in. Her charming voice could make one's bones go numb. Yafei, Wu-Tan City's well-known beauty. She was also the head auctioneer of the Primer Auction House. It's really strange. I've never seen these herbs before, but their effects are exactly the same as what's written on these papers. It's even better. Gu and I put down the herbs in his hand and looked at Yafei with a puzzled face. Where did you get these? They were sent by the Xiao family's third son, Xiao Yin. He wanted us to auction them off. Yafei swayed her waist. Her rosy cherry lips slightly opened and closed. When the auction is over, you go to the Xiao family and ask Xiao Yin where he got these herbs. Gu and I narrowed his eyes. Maybe this Xiao Yin found a medicine valley that no one has ever explored before. Other than these, there should be even higher-grade herbs. If that's really the case, then I must find out the location of this medicine valley from his mouth, no matter the cost. Yafei carefully picked up all the herbs and turned to leave. Chapter 19. Celestial Shop. Little Doctor, why are you here? Xiao Yin saw the little doctor cooking as soon as he entered the house. His face was full of shock. Young Master Xiao, I will stay here for the next few days and take care of Boss Chu's daily necessities. The little doctor was not reserved because of Xiao Yan's arrival. At this time, Chu Bei also came out of the house. Boss Chu, your luck with women is not bad, Xiao Yin said in a strange tone. Did you bring enough money? Chu Bei went straight to the point. Of course, Xiao Yin said proudly. The money from the auction house, plus the wealth from Jialai Mansion, is a total of 2,000,000 gold coins. This is not enough, Chu Bei replied. The limit increased again? Xiao Yin asked tentatively. Chu Bei nodded. With his current cultivation, the limit has already reached 5,000,000 gold coins. The rest of the benefits will be given to others. Who told me to be poor? Xiao Yin spread out his hands. My current cultivation is at 8-star warrior. Let's spin the level 2 wheel first. Chu Bei waved his sleeves, and the void trembled. The level 2 Wheel of Fortune appeared. This was the first time the fairy doctor had seen such a scene, and her face was filled with astonishment. Xiao Yin took out 300,000 gold coins first. The system received 3,000 willpower. The host received 1,500 willpower. The needle turned. 3 sets, 30 times. 30 boxes exploded. 20 thanks for your patronage. 5 level 2 monster cores, 4 herbs, and 1 warrior pill. Got it. Seeing the doja pill, Xiao Yin subconsciously cried out. Then, he directly grabbed the warrior pill and ate it. Promoted to 9 stars warrior. Boss Chu, next should be the level 3 Wheel of Fortune, right? Xiao Yin sighed in relief and guessed based on his experience. Not bad. Chu Bei nodded. From 9 stars doja to dosher. You need condensation pill, then dosher pill? With that said, Chu Bei's divine telekinesis moved, and the wheel changed from level 2 to level 3. Xiao Yin was very nimble as he took out 7 million gold coins. The system has gained 17,000 willpower points. The host has gained 8,500 willpower points. The needle turned again. 1 set, 7 times, 17 times. The host has completed 5 transactions. You are rewarded with a large transaction. Upper limit, 50,000 willpower. Trade target below Do Zone, suggested target, Yun. According to the situation, the host can freely use 2 level 8 products in the store. Suddenly, a series of system notifications rang out. Yun? Chu Bei was stunned. And right at this moment, a new map of the mountain range of magical beasts appeared on Chu Bei's system screen. There was a red dot on the map, which represented Yun's location. Chu Bei came back to his senses, his face full of smiles. 50,000 willpower points. This was the system's benefit. Bang! With a loud bang, the 17 boxes Xiao Yin was spinning exploded. 11 thanks for your patronage, 4 level 3 demon cores, 1 herb, and 1 sky blue spiral-shaped pill. Boss Chu, what is it? Xiao Yan's gaze was fixed on the spiral-shaped pill, and he asked nervously. Your luck is not bad. Chu Bei smiled. It really is a condensation pill. Hearing Chu Bei's words, Xiao Yin laughed out loud. Then, Xiao Yin carefully took the condensation pill. Just as the condensation pill entered his mouth, Xiao Yin clearly felt an external energy invading his body. Under this power, every piece of his bones, flesh, and blood seemed to have undergone a metamorphosis. Gradually, they were filled with vigorous power. At the same time, the Do-Chi vortex in his abdomen began to spin faster and faster, until it began to turn into liquid. A few seconds later, Xiao Yan's clothes fluttered without any wind, and a Do-Chi several times stronger than before gushed out from his body. Feeling the energy in his body, Xiao Yin was extremely excited. He suddenly stretched out his right palm, and then clenched it. Suddenly, a majestic Do-Chi appeared on the surface of his body, and then converged, forming a layer of Do-Chi defense. Do-Chi cloak, the symbol of a Dome master. I broke through just like that. The little doctor at the side was so shocked that her mouth could not close. The scene she witnessed had already broken her understanding of cultivation. Boss Chu, I almost forgot to tell you something. After the excitement, Xiao Yin seemed to have remembered something, and hurriedly said, Primer Auction House's Yafei kept asking me where I got those herbs, and I told her that I bought them from here. It's okay. You introduced me to a customer. Chu Bei did not mind. Ta-ta-ta. Hurried footsteps came from outside the room. Father, why are you here? Seeing the person who came, Xiao Yan's face showed confusion. Canaan College is recruiting students, and I told the teacher about your age and cultivation. Xiao Zhan respectfully greeted Chu Bei, and then said, if it wasn't for my reputation in Wutan City, I'm afraid that they wouldn't have believed me. Before Xiao Zhan finished speaking, 2 people came in from outside the room. One was a woman wearing a green dress, with a gentle smile on her beautiful face. The other was a middle-aged man wearing a black robe, with a cold face and a knife scar on his forehead, giving him a fierce appearance. Yin Air, these 2 are Canaan College's recruiting teachers. This is Teacher Ruoling, a 6-star Dosher, and this is Teacher Luo Tian, 2 stars Doling, Xiao Zhan introduced Xiao Yin to the green-dressed woman and the black-robed man in a very polite manner. Canaan College, located at the border between the Kama Empire and the other two empires, is a famous Do-Chi academy in the Do-Chi continent. It is a holy land in the hearts of all the youths of the three empires. As long as you can graduate from the academy, your future will be smooth. Not only will you be able to hold your head high and return home in glory, but you will also be a hot steamed bun that all the factions will fight over. Compared to the sects, after graduating from the academy, you will not have any compulsory relationship with the academy. But the sects are different. There are many restrictions, and every move you make represents the sect. Xiao family head, let me see if he is really as you said, a 15-year-old 8-star doja. Teacher Ruoling suddenly stepped forward and grabbed Xiao Yan's arm. The sudden attack caused Xiao Yan's do-chi to involuntarily surge out of his body. 1-star do-sure. Sensing Xiao Yan's do-chi fluctuation, Teacher Ruoling's pupil shrank, her face full of disbelief. At the same time, Teacher Luo Tian also showed an expression of disbelief. However, the shock of the two of them was quickly replaced by excitement and excitement. The gazes they used to look at Xiao Yan had an additional heat, as though they had met a treasure. A 15-year-old do-sure. Not to mention the three empires of the East, even in the entire Do-Chi continent, there are very few of them. A monster among geniuses. Teacher Luo Tian. This time we really came to the right place. This trip was not in vain. Ruo Ling's expression was excited. If we bring this kid back, I'm afraid even the dean will be alarmed. We will definitely be rewarded. Luo Tian stared at Xiao Yan, already beginning to look forward to a beautiful future. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.